Schaefer. Happer and Schaefer. Happer and wow, Schaefer. It's Connor and Mike. Yeah. Happer and Schaefer. Happer and Schaefer. Happer and wow, Schaefer. It's Connor and Mike.
All right, good morning and welcome in. Happy, let's see here, Thursday. It is Happer and Schaefer here on 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com. I'm Connor Happer alongside Mike Schaefer and Joey Warcola. Good morning, guys.
Good morning, Connor. Welcome back.
Thanks.
Good morning.
Thanks. What's up?
I am excited to see how many people ask you never to leave again, so they don't have to hear me open the show.
Oh.
They might have an idea who is next to me or doing the show at any given time. I don't know. I assume you were sorely missed.
Our thanks and appreciation to the folks who have filled in over the last couple days.
Brian, Matt, Tyler, Severe.
Yes, Michael.
Michael Severe.
And we thank you. And here we go.
Yeah.
We're back. This is now we have to do the show.
Of everything that happened, I think Joey is most excited that we were able to finish it with Severe yesterday, because that meant we get to start a new streak of people named Mike or Michael.
No, I was
happy
to bring back Severe Reaction for an hour. when you left the night.
Really good.
Yeah.
Okay, when I was driving in, that was fun.
So yes, full transparency. I get in my car yesterday around 9:00, and I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on right now? And I didn't think about it enough to really, but I figured Schaefer went over to the village and started things up.
I'm glad I left early
smart.
Because somehow the traffic on Wednesday, despite it being what you would have thought would be a lighter day, like the traffic down there and the traffic around the OBV at that time was like worse.
You always have to build in an extra.
It took me 30 minutes to get from here to there and then parked.
Yeah.
Like, it was wild.
You always have to build in an extra several
walk or
minutes for whatever happens. Maybe you get in a car accident and then you have to, sit around for 40 minutes and wait for the cops to come. That didn't happen to me this week, but just from saying,
That answers a question that I meant to ask earlier about the vehicles in the parking lot.
Yep.
So sorry to hear that.
Yeah, that's how, it's just a College World Series. It's Omaha.
Well,
it's baseball.
Can I ask questions about it, or is it
of course you can?
All right, you did open the door by mentioning it.
Of course.
Where were you at?
I was turning into lot D.
Oh God.
Yeah, I was so close. I almost made it.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no. And it took 40 minutes.
Oh, it was an extra hour. I mean, yeah.
They weren't just sitting there on the corner.
Oh, they were.
Nothing?
They were.
Oh, okay. All right.
And
that tracks.
And then I went to ask, so they were like, all right, hey, pull over to the side. Our police officers do a great job. And I pulled over to the side, and I sat there because they had one person in a golf cart, a cop in a golf cart, and then they were like, we're gonna call a squad car. I was like, sweet. And I was like, this won't take long. We're at the College World Series. And then about, I don't know, probably 25 minutes go by, and I get out of my car and I'm like, hey, can I just get an ETA, like, can I get an update here? I got a job to do. And the dude was like, get back in your car. Don't talk to me. You are involved in an accident, sir. This is not the time to be wondering about anything else in the world. And I was like, yeah, you don't know me, man. Like, I'm going to, I was like, I'm going to worry about other things.
Was it your fault? Was it the other person's fault? Was it you turned in and then you had to slow down and they turned in too quickly and hit you?
That is a good, accurate description, a relatively accurate description of what happened. Yes. Yeah. I don't know if that I want to necessarily say whose fault it was, because there might be differing opinions on that.
Oh, well, yeah.
But,
and you might be going through insurance and everything else.
Mm-hmm, things of that nature.
Okay.
So there you go. That was fun. The College World Series was fun.
Was that Tuesday?
Yes.
Okay.
It was Tuesday.
Tuesday was another abysmal traffic day.
Mike writes in, was it Giancarlo's fault?
It's not Giancarlo's fault.
Apparently, it wasn't Giancarlo's fault either. Interesting. Thank you, Bob Costas. I appreciate that. I look forward to hearing the many, many tales of all that went on in the last week around here, in Joey's world.
It's quite something.
In Schaefer's world, in my world. Really nothing too crazy outside of that.
Yeah, I have a segment for today. If you'd like to go into that route where you just learn about all the things that occurred while the College World Series was going on.
I would love to, but
which is actually quite a bit.
I did pop open Twitter this morning and I saw it. I went to the For You side just to get myself re-inundated back in. And I saw a tweet from, let's see here. This is from 3:25 this morning, a video from the Ronkonkoma stop. The Ronkonkoma stop on the Long Island Railroad heading into the city. 4:06 a.m. first stop. Nick's Parade Day. Did you know that today is Nick's Parade Day?
I did.
No, I haven't seen that.
Thank you, Mayor Mamdani. I appreciate it, and I cannot wait till Nick's Parade Day.
You think it's going to be broadcasted on ESPN throughout the day? They're just going to do a live coverage.
I assume Stephen A. Smith is doing a show on the parade.
I was wondering this because
on the parade,
amazing?
they're crowd surfing him down the street.
He's doing a show sitting on a parade float.
So I was wondering this: if there was the doubleheader today for the CWS on ESPN, if they would demote that to ESPN2 in favor of the New York Knicks. I was wondering if that was going to be the case.
I don't know what there is to televise, but
it's like the biggest thing that's happened for the franchise in over half of a century.
Well, I mean, they did win the finals.
To be fair, I feel like they've spent less time talking about the Knicks winning the finals and more time talking about Wemby and the Spurs not shaking hands.
Oh yeah.
And
wait, they didn't shake hands?
Yeah. No. Speaking of things you haven't seen or heard.
Yeah, there's like
I hate when they don't shake hands.
There's subtext in there that you're gonna pick up on and everything else.
Yeah. All I know is they were up by 20 again.
Yeah.
And lost
yep.
again.
Pretty much.
They were.
Oops, I did it again.
And then other than that one, it's like, how does Wemby move on from this? Will there be residual effects?
I will never financially recover from this. He'll be fine.
I think he'll be okay.
This is causing great harm.
He's 9 feet tall and he's like 24.
I can't believe how much like Mitch Johnson, and we can save some of this if we're going to get into it later, but I can't believe how little Mitch Johnson has gotten blame for being the coach that's presided over a team that blew a lead in every game of which they played in the NBA Finals. Only won one of them, despite having a double-digit lead in the second half of every game.
Yeah, pretty much.
Woof.
It's horrible.
He did have
in the only game they
stop dressing like a strength and conditioning coach.
So the only game
that's part of the problem.
The only game they won in that series, they were down by 7 at the half. They blew their double-digit lead in the second quarter, but then they had to come back from down 7.
Sorry. From the second quarter on, they had a double-digit lead in every game of a series, in which they lost 4-1.
Pretty much.
That even makes it worse.
Yeah, it makes it worse.
So he did have that one of the games that at the time when I was still watching it. So it was before it was either game 4 or before. He had that
Game 4 was the last one you watched.
He had that classic deer in the headlights look.
Oh, he had that the whole series.
He had that classic just kind of panicked.
No, disaster.
This is not good.
Or he would have the I look like an idiot while smiling right now.
Oh, that's a good one.
He did that a few times, especially in game 5, or at least to me. And I don't watch enough NBA to have overly strong opinions on this, but
you could tell when people are crapping their pants.
It's really hard to.
You could definitely tell
to be the coach of a team that blew that lead 4 times, 5 times, and not receive any criticism. But he managed to do it. Yeah. He slid under the radar.
Speaking of pressure, there was a team who went out of the College World Series last night who things kind of tightened up on them. I can talk eloquently about the College World Series if you're interested.
Yes.
About any of the things that have gone on.
And Ferris wheel stuff.
We do have. Oh, yeah. I'd love to talk you through that, too. There is a championship finals between North Carolina and Oklahoma. I can't believe it. Where is it? Joey, hit me. I can't believe. Oh no! What'd you do?
I don't know what I did.
You made it go. Bring it back, and we have to play that this morning.
But twice.
Yeah. So we'll set that thing up as we go on throughout the show today. So Schaefer made the full disclosure here. Schaefer made this show I at about 5:55 looked at it for the very first time. So I'm excited to get to some of the topics on the show today.
I can't believe it.
All I know is it is Thursday, which means I have an opinion is coming up today at 8 o'clock. I worked that into my brain last night. Brian Christopherson and Max Olson will join the show today as well. We want to hear from you all, 402-951-1620 on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. You could call or text that number, tweet at us at HappenSchafe, at Connor Happer, at Mike J. Schaefer on the Liquid Trucking Zone Twitter feed. Email Connor, Mike, or Joey at 1620thezone.com on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox. And we say good morning to our YouTube streamers today. Hello, YouTube streamers.
Good morning.
It's great to see you all again. Maybe you'll be joining as we go on throughout the show today. Wes says, welcome back. You've done a great job announcing the games with John. What a time. The time of my life. It felt like it was March again, and John, well, I guess April again, and John and I were just doing a good old Creighton baseball game, but it was cool. I mean, it was like it was a huge stage, and there was certainly a lot more people in the stands, but I got to work with my regular partner, which is absolutely fantastic.
So, how many games did you do play-by-play last year?
One.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it was the
I
no-hitter.
was curious, this was the most that you had done for the College World Series.
Yeah, 6.
Yep.
It was 6 and 6. So
you guys sounded really good. You and John, obviously, it hit me on Friday when I was driving after the in-between show and was driving back before Ole Miss, North Carolina, and then during Ole Miss, North Carolina, and was listening to you guys, and it's like, oh yeah, they do a lot of games together.
Yeah.
You have that rhythm where you know where to pick up when he's done, or he knows how to let you finish your point before moving into the next thing to segue away from it. It was really good.
Thank you.
Then I think I mentioned this to you when I saw you on Saturday. The thing that I was impressed by, because I'll be honest.
Impressive.
Don't watch many ESPN Plus Creighton broadcasts.
Ah, damn it. Maybe now you will.
The truth is out.
Welcome to the Big East.
Is out. You guys do a great job with the pitching stuff. That's not always something you get from broadcasts, and I feel like between you and John, you really hammered home both the arsenal, kind of what they were attempting to do, what they were good at, what they haven't been good at. Obviously, you have access to
a little bit more information this time around, yeah.
But you used it, you utilized it really well.
Thank you.
So I enjoyed that aspect of it.
Yeah, it was a ton of fun, and now the prelims are over. 2 straight years now, by the way, with no
winner take all semifinals,
with no bracket championship winner take all games.
Pretty wild. Not the College World Series I thought we were getting. And plenty more thoughts on that. We've turned the 6 o'clock hour in the last few days.
Yeah, what do we got?
The CWS basically at 6:30. We run through the games that happened.
It's the CWS at 6:30,
and then the World Cup at 6:45.
I was meant to bring in a drop for the World Cup, but I forgot this morning, so I'll bring it in tomorrow.
Was it off of the Harry Kane performance or
no? It's
the Ghana goal at the very end.
No.
Okay,
no. It's not real. It's not related to any of the scoring. It's more of Andres Cantor, the greatest soccer announcer on Telemundo.
I can't believe it.
No idea.
I'm not going to pretend like I know.
He's the guy that yells goal for a very long time.
Well, that's everybody.
Yeah, I know, but he's the guy that kind of started.
Did he originate it?
He's the most famous of it.
Do you guys still want to talk to my soccer guy? Well, I got a soccer guy.
When we're off air, I have questions for tomorrow's show on various guests. So.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, but if you have a soccer guy, we should probably look into getting a soccer guy. The United States plays tomorrow. It's actually a massively big game.
I heard we won.
They won on
we
not just
looked
they
good.
Dominated.
They dominated.
This is bad for my narratives.
Worse for Severe's.
Yeah, he was rooting against
the
US.
Not enjoy the 6:45 segment.
I'm not rooting against just to be very crystal clear. I am not rooting against the United States, but it is a little bit, I don't know, grating over the years when all I hear is they're good. We're coming along in soccer. Don't worry.
It's all about
having they suck. I'm
just fascinated who you hear this from.
America. I hear it from America.
we must hear from.
There's all these expectations, and we're like, I think we got a chance this year. No,
I must have the more pessimistic version of American
you must, because I don't know. People
hated basically the last two. I don't know if they're coaches or managers in soccer.
I think they're managers.
Yeah, they did get canned. I remember those guys.
Yeah, so I mean, there's general skepticism of every young player who's supposed to be good. I don't know. We're just different versions of American soccer people.
Maybe this is the one. So we will see.
Today's the first day of the second matches in group stages.
Okay. All right. I did see some videos from Kansas City.
The scenes there was amazing.
It was Argentina, right?
Messi with a hat trick there. It was pretty cool. Too.
Whoa. That is awesome.
He had a fourth goal that was called back. It would have been the first goal, but it was called back due to an offsides call.
Joey, you are into the World Cup.
Joey's which makes it very easy at 6:45 because I only catch snippets of it. Or like yesterday, the game I watched the most of is the game that he was asleep for. I guarantee it.
The Colombia Uzbekistan. Yeah,
and I watched.
That is correct.
Basically, the entire.
When I got the email last night from Odson, I was already asleep by then. I was tired.
8:00.
No, that was 9:00. That was after the Georgia Oklahoma game was done.
I don't know how it is for you. The time of which my kid goes to sleep until I go to sleep can just be considered one giant hour. I don't know if it's 8, 9, 10, 11. I get as much as I can get done with my life in that structure of time before I go to sleep.
100%.
I will tell you
me time.
I will tell you this, Connor. Some of the group stages are hilarious based on the results. Spain had a scoreless draw against Cape Verde.
You could have had a heck of a game, basically. Like,
England, Croatia was great
geography.
yesterday.
Other people would have no idea that some of these are countries.
I don't know where. I didn't know that Cape Verde was a country.
It's right off of Africa on the northwest end.
No kidding. How'd they make the World Cup?
48 teams, 16 new teams made it.
Did they do
they're part of the expansion of playoffs.
I think the World Cup expanded.
No.
It's from 32 to 48.
I was gonna say, did they make it through some like dodgeball qualifier where the other team was on like some sort of performance enhancing drugs and they had to remember from dodgeball when they go through the stupid qualifier and the girl was on like horse tranquilizers or something like that. That's how Cape Verde got into the World Cup.
Well, I think they actually just qualified by winning enough matches in the African stages.
Yeah, and qualifiers.
That makes a lot more sense, actually.
That's how Italy did not make the World Cup for a third straight time. They lost to Bosnia in the qualifier stages.
No pasta? No Italy?
No Italy. But Spain couldn't score against Cape Verde.
The Knicks won the Knicks won the NBA Finals.
Who cares?
Italy's in the World Cup after all. All right. Let's take a break. Off and running here on a Thursday. We're back after this on 1620 The Zone. All right, welcome back. Happer and Schaefer here on a Thursday, 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com. I'm just getting my Wikipedia game right with Cape Verde. We had a caller who called in and said, no, it's Cape Verde. And then we said, no, it's Cape Verde. Apparently, Schaefer did a whole segment on this.
Not a whole segment.
No, he did some research and
Did some slight research.
Shared his
based off of
findings.
Hearing LeVar Arrington talk about it.
Do we believe LeVar Arrington?
What I mean, you did the same thing I did, and that's the pronunciation that came up.
Yeah.
So, and
I think it's Verde.
he basically said it's Cape Verde.
Yeah.
And he knows people from there. Like that was the whole.
Whoa.
And then he talked
He's got
about how,
contacts in the Verde.
He's like, if you look it up, some of the most beautiful people in the entire world, aesthetically pleasing people, come from Cape Verde.
No kidding.
He's like the hair, the skin, all of it.
Bunch of hotties in Cape Verde.
More or less what he was saying.
Unbelievable. I did not know that.
Which
Well-
I've started to listen to that show more on the drive-in.
Me too.
I get about 20. They are off the rails 97% of the
100%.
time. Like today, I just gave up even trying to follow the thread of what they were talking about. They were yelling at their producer, and they were going to fine him if he didn't attempt to do an impression. And then if the impression wasn't good, they were going to fine him. So then he was arguing why he should even have to do it because he was going to get fined either way. And I was like, I don't know what the impression is. Like, they haven't even explained what it is yet.
Overnight radio is just an absolute
There's
trip.
a lot.
it's a
Absolutely.
different
It
animal.
made me think of how we treat Matt sometimes. So that was my ultimate takeaway. And I was like, I'm turning this off. And I was like, that's not a good sign for us.
Dilo writes in on YouTube, country of the day. So yeah, I brought that up just sort of flippantly to the group
Can Matt live there?
during the break. I don't know. I think we're probably sticking to American cities because we need to do the interstate question, and we don't know if Matt can get there. You
Yeah.
know,
Well,
but
I don't think Matt's doing sports radio in Cape Verde.
No.
I'm just going to say no.
I don't think he would do very well there. There's also the whole thing about all the good-looking people. He would. Not that Matt's not good-looking, but I just think he would get too intimidated by all the good-looking people.
Can you imagine the self-loathing and then the the conversation when he brings us on as guests onto his radio show?
So you guys don't understand. I'm the ugliest guy in Cape Verde.
It's hard.
I was like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. He's medium in Omaha.
Cape Verde, he's low.
He's way, way down. All right. The College World Series heads into the finals. We have North Carolina and Oklahoma. All the Oklahoma football coaches and other coaches have been showing up over the last couple days.
Speaking of football coaches, is one current head coach of one of these teams going to show up to the
Brent Venables
for
has
the
been here.
championship series?
believe I've seen
Or second one?
I do not believe I've seen him yet.
Are you wondering if he's on to Omaha?
Yeah.
I'm wondering if he's on the Omaha.
I don't believe he's on to Omaha.
Matt's
Wow.
hoping that Michael Jordan shows up because, of course, everything's Chicago related.
Michael Jordan. So North Carolina's been in the finals twice.
Wait, Matt's from Chicago?
I don't remember Michael Jordan making the trip to Rosenblatt Stadium.
I was
Maybe.
getting our friends from Central Nebraska to ask Matt if he was actually from Chicago or to make Chicago related comments.
Good bit.
So
Good bit.
I don't know how it went over because I was never listening right when they would meet up, but
And he probably would just say, yeah, oh yeah, sorry, I didn't tell you that. You know, you didn't know that. But North Carolina and Oklahoma, these are the two teams that have played the cleanest baseball here in Omaha. These are the two teams that have played the most complete baseball in Omaha. They have a little bit of a streak of Oklahoma's got a little bit of a streak of power going on right now. I told you a week ago about these freshman arms from Oklahoma. I didn't think they'd be this good. 3 of them, 3 games. They've each been dominant. And you know, they've got some great hitting to go along with it in the tournament.
the thing, I don't know if I'm more impressed by Oklahoma's offense over the last stretch of things. I don't. What did the final score end up last night? I turned it off after they went up 9-3.
I think it was 9-3.
Just finished at 9-3. So if I go back and I try to do the math on it, I think they basically are on a 42-8 run of scoring differential since
over the super regional.
Basically, since they were down 7-3 against Georgia Tech and came back to win.
Yeah, we were talking about this last night in the later innings when it looked like Oklahoma was going to do it. You know, they have this knack, and they've run into these big power teams, these teams that are known for hit. I mean, look at Georgia Tech. I think that's the second best home run hitting team in the country. Georgia was the first best home run hitting team in the country. Kansas has got to be, I would imagine, top 15, but they're known for hitting home runs, right? They're skewed that way. And Oklahoma just like laid waste to all of them.
Yeah, they went through the state of Georgia like General Sherman did in the 1880,
but
1860s after the Civil War.
And I think it's probably a little bit too low-hanging fruit to say, well, it's the ballpark and it's the weather and it's the conditions and all these different things. But here we are in the finals again, and it's not the team that comes in with all the power, numbers, and it's not the team that comes in with.
But they're playing with
all
power.
The accolades.
That's the thing.
They are, but these are the two most complete teams that we have. Until yesterday in the later innings, when Dayton Taki couldn't make that flip to first when it got hairy in the sixth inning for Oklahoma. That's the one error that either North Carolina or Oklahoma made in their 3 games. 6 games, just one error, and it ended up being unconsequential.
Have you considered this about this year's championship series? So I just mentioned it with Oklahoma. It's the 7th inning, and they're down 7-3 against Georgia Tech in the Monday winner-take-all regional final. They come back, they win. They don't lose again.
I remember.
North Carolina's down to USC with 2 outs to go at home in a super regional. They come back, they haven't lost. Both of these teams stared elimination basically in the face of their postseason, run.
Now, my argument to that,
turned that around and won.
The counter to that would be, well, I mean, Georgia was basically dead after being down 7-0 in the super in the first game. We're like, whoa, what are they going to get run off the field here? And then they come back. They weren't staring elimination in the face,
right?
Like those two teams were. But yes, I think there's something to that. I think there's something to, they are playing their best baseball right now. And I do think it's oversimplistic to say that Oklahoma is, even though they'll get this moniker because they're a regional 2 and they beat the teams that they beat. I don't believe they are hot right now. I tried to explain this and I probably did so not very eloquently last night. They are hot. Don't get me wrong, but it's not just that they're hot. They're so athletic. They're so dynamic.
Well, they were expected to be better than how they finished this year with the regular season, right? Like if you want a weird cross-sport comparison, they look like Purdue running through the Big Ten tournament when Purdue was the number 1 team going into the year for basketball.
Maybe.
Didn't live up to expectations, and then the postseason rolls around and the version of Purdue that you kind of expected shows up. Now, they ran into Arizona in the regional or in the, Elite 8 or whatever, and we're done. Oklahoma hasn't met that, but they look like, I mean, someone told me they were a preseason, like right around 10, 11th team in the country. They look like that right now.
They do.
I mean, and they're getting big performance. I'm dying every time there's a pitcher shown for Oklahoma and their ERA is like 6.12.
Yeah, it's like, it doesn't even matter.
All you see from them is plus stuff with good breaking stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's remarkable.
Well, there's an experience. I mean,
how many arms these teams, like both teams just bring guys out and it's like, where are these wipeout pitches and how do they have a 6 ERA?
You do have to go. I mean, you have to sort of trust these guys too and not be too careful with it. By the way, Mike commented in the final score was 11-4 last night. I don't know. I was watching the entire game. Well, I should have known that because I should have known that it changed after the 8th because there was the home run by Colby Branch. That was really, really cool last night. Georgia was dead, obviously, but he hits a solo home run the night, and he has to, of course, pass at second base his brother, and high fives him, and he's happy for him, and he goes into the field. Oh, that was a great story this week. Their parents, the Branch parents, who I talked to during one of the first Oklahoma-Georgia game, were incredible, and they were absolutely melting last night after that home run. In the 9th inning, but now they get to stay around as they get to ditch their half and half jerseys and go to just Oklahoma, which is crazy. I was like, my extra question would have been, who is your seamstress? Like where have you gotten these jerseys? But really, really cool story with that. No,
There's actually a tent down at the Omaha Baseball Village that makes half and half jerseys.
they could do customs, I suppose.
Apparently.
That's awesome. So visit the Omaha Baseball Village for all your baseball jersey needs. No, I mean, I think you just see a couple teams who are really, really complete. And so North Carolina probably gets the advantage going into the finals just because I
don't know.
I think of you just line it up from a pitching perspective, and you just would probably rather have the experience there. So you'll have DeCaro and Kortrigger in game one. Both teams set up very well because neither team had to play a fourth game in their quote unquote regional. And they could just come back with their regular stuff, right? They could just go back in order again. And then North Carolina can use Glauber however they want, even though he threw a little bit yesterday as it got tighter later against West Virginia, which that was odd. That was a very weird sort of ending to that game, with West Virginia kind of mounting a little bit of a comeback. The door was at least a little bit open.
They had the bases loaded, and a home run there would have made it a 12-10 game, which would have then completely made actual drama.
And so
CWS.
I'm glad you mentioned that. So we had a lot of those where in that game we had that, and then as Georgia finally there's this little breath of Oklahoma being human. They walk a couple guys, Mercurius comes in and he's a little wild, and they get the bases loaded and they get down 5-3, and they have one of their best bats at the plate, and Phelps hits into a high chopper at third base. Jackson didn't do anything during the entire Men's College World Series. So
the one home run that really didn't matter.
And so some of it is luck, right? You have to have guys going at the right time. But I do think there is something to these complete teams and the athleticism with it. Look at North Carolina up the middle with their shortstop and their second baseman, Gallagher and Schaefer. Athletic dudes, they don't commit errors, they're incredible defensively, and they obviously put the ball in play. And then Hull, and so, that's a great snapshot right there. Shortstop, second base, center field. Those are your three best players. Those guys are awesome, for North Carolina. They might not be national players of the year, but they're really, really good, and they're really athletic, and they can cover a lot of ground.
Over, like at the plate, those guys absolutely wore out West Virginia pitching in both of those games. I mean, I can't even count how many times it seemed like one of those three would be at the plate with someone on base, 2 outs. And they weren't even like they were like middle pitches or anything like that. They were spoiling good pitches and hitting them to the wall.
That was the thing that really struck us in their first game
against Ole
Miss, because I thought Rabe he probably didn't have his A stuff, but
the first batter, like you're talking about Schaefer, because I remember I was listening. This is Friday. I'm driving back, and you're talking about, and I can't obviously see because I'm listening, but he just kept spoiling pitch after pitch after pitch. And I think he ended up getting out, but he made it like a 9-pitch at bat.
Right. So he only threw 5 innings.
So it set a tone and
away. Walked 4, and they just taxed him and then broke through late in that game. And that was the story for North Carolina. I think Oklahoma is a lot of the same. I was talking about this a little bit last night too. Like, they're not necessarily known as a power hitting team, although they are on a power streak right now. But there is something about the athleticism and the ability. You watched Georgia's swings last night, and yes, they were pressing because they were trying to hit 600-foot home runs, and they thought they could get a 9-run home run or something like that, even though the message was you can't hit a 9-run home run. But you look at their swings, and you compare them to Oklahoma swings, and they weren't doing any of the work hardly at all. It was just, let's put the barrel on the baseball and get it up there, and let's see if it goes. And last night, the wind was a factor, I think, in the game too. There's a relaxed, there's a calmness, there's a professionalism about what they do. And I think it reflects on the other side as well in North Carolina. I think it's going to be a really good championship series.
I hope we see one of my biggest complaint so far with the CWS is we haven't had any real 8th, 9th inning drama. I mean, you've had North Carolina has
really like
strung some games out and then had their big inning in the 7th and the 8th, where they had the 3-run homer against Ole Miss, I think, and I don't remember what it was against West Virginia, but they grabbed their 3 runs there too. I would love to see at least a game where it's like you had Georgia, Oklahoma, where Jackson's up with a couple on, and that was at least some element of it.
But there's been no lead
change. I think there's been no lead change in the 8th or 9th inning so far in this CWS.
Yeah, a couple in the 7th, but yeah.
Just nothing to that. So I hope with these two teams that are playing at such a high level, we get that a little bit.
We've also had some daggers in the 8th, which that is an exciting thing in its own right. So I'm curious from your perspective, Schaefer. We could talk about this a little bit later on in the show too. There's always like a thing about every, like a headline of every College World Series. Whether it was a thing that actually happened, a player that was here, a trend. Which College World Series was this? Was it the Oklahoma College World Series where they just kind of took the world by?
For me,
was it the West Virginia College World Series? Like, what's the headline?
I don't know that I would attach a specific team. I'd attach an age group to it. I thought it was a freshman pitcher College World Series. I mean, with Caden, I keep forgetting. Is it Glaubers or Glaubers? Glauber. There's not even an S. I want to add an S to it.
No S.
It needs an S. He's been in every game that North Carolina has played so far. He's constantly been a fireman for him. The guy's slider made West Virginia look silly, like absolutely silly. When he came in yesterday, it was the least effective he looked for large stretches of it. And I wonder if that's going to be a problem for them in the championship series. If he was laboring a lot more than he did, certainly against Ole Miss, he was money, like really, really good.
Except for at the very start. It was hairy at the very start.
And maybe that's what it was with West Virginia too, where
so,
it's just he comes in out of the pen and it takes a little bit. But so you have him, you have the Oklahoma pitchers that. And I don't know that they're all freshmen, but they just felt like a lot of their young.
Each of the three starters have been freshmen.
Like they're these young arms just coming in and taking the College World Series by storm.
Yep.
And really kind of shutting things down, which is fascinating because when I looked at this College World Series last Friday doing this show with Severe, I was thinking we were going to get a lot more of those sort of the Troy West Virginia first game or Troy Ole Miss elimination game. I thought we were going to get a lot more of that because I didn't think the pitching was going to be able to rise to the occasion. And for some of them, they absolutely didn't. Mm-hmm. The West Virginia starter for Friday and for yesterday didn't get out of the third inning either time.
Yep.
So, you had guys who just couldn't survive, but a lot of the young arms that you would think would be eaten up by the moment or struggle with the crowd or struggle with the, what happened. No.
Nope.
And the other thing that struck me, and you said this about Oklahoma, like going into the regional, about how they were a professional, group. That's how I felt about both them and Oklahoma. And they each of them just handled their business with like an air about them where there was no like wide eyed, like we're just happy to be here.
Nope.
There was no like, our fan base is so thrilled that we're here for this moment. It was just we're showing up. We're going to play good competitive baseball. We're going to put our best out there, and it's better than yours.
You know who I thought had a little bit of that to him that didn't end up making it into the quote unquote regional final? Troy. I was really impressed by Troy.
They were good.
Yeah,
they were. So I sent this text to some buddies of mine where it's like, I thought Nebraska baseball was a top 25 team, by the end of it, and even with how their regional went and everything like that. I looked at Troy, and they finished third in the Sun Belt. They look better than Nebraska in a lot of ways. Like the way they could hit, the way that they could play. Like, now their defense, I think, leaves some to be desired. I don't think they have the depth that even a place like Nebraska might have at the different parts of its roster.
But they have like
they're high end,
three good pitchers.
Hit.
Yeah.
And they absolutely had that, like, Jason Voorhees, you have to kill him and kill him again. Mm-hmm. And when you think that they're dead, they're going to reach up from the grave and pull you underneath. Like they had something to them that until West Virginia, like, even that ninth inning where if they don't score those 5 runs, I'm still wondering, like, Troy's kind of got that in their bag.
I
right?
know.
Like, they can do this.
Yeah. I mean,
I was very impressed.
I was talking with
I was impressed by West Virginia, too. They just ran into North Carolina and couldn't solve that.
I was talking with Ren Baker a lot this week, the West Virginia athletic director, and he was never comfortable when they were playing Troy. It's like, 7-run lead, but I don't know. Yeah. I'm not sure.
My biggest complaint with West Virginia is we couldn't find a damn pepperoni roll anywhere in this city.
What the hell? They didn't even bring them with them?
I thought they were just going to be bringing truckloads.
What happened to hospitality?
I know.
That's ridiculous.
We send them back runzas. They bring us pepperoni rolls.
I have a couple more things in the College World Series as we go on a little bit later. Something that Troy coach Skylar Meade said this week was pretty fascinating. Debo says, it's been a boring CWS. Nice weather, boring games. Honestly, hard to argue. I think like that has generally been the case. Maybe the moniker of this College World Series is it was the great weather.
If you miss the early innings, you're not seeing much. That's basically like if you don't get to the game until inning 5 or 6, you've missed a lot of what's made
except for further great weather. It was the great weather College World Series.
There you go.
I like it. Let's take a break. Now it's time for me to learn about what happens at the World Cup.
Yeah.
Which is apparently happening right now. After this on 1620 The Zone. Bernie says on Twitter, on the Liquid Trucking Zone Twitter feed, the Sun Belt is a better baseball conference than the Big Ten. Well, I think, yeah, that was Schaefer's point. It does seem to be the case.
Well, it's tough because like this is a extremely rare year where the Big Ten was really good.
Well, the top 4 were good.
Sure, yeah. Well, I don't know what the bottom of the Sun Belt is in general, but like Louisiana, Lafayette, good.
I would say
Troy, good.
In general, almost everyone is trying in the Sun Belt.
Sure.
Not almost everyone is trying in the Big Ten.
I don't know how you could say that about some of these teams. How dare you accuse them of not trying? They're just bad.
Do you think Northwestern's trying?
I have no idea what Northwestern's ever doing.
There's no way they're trying.
I don't.
There's only one person that knows in this building.
So the teams like Penn State tried and they ended up just being really bad. I don't know what Iowa's ever doing with baseball.
They're not trying. I mean, they're good in spite of them not trying.
They schedule a bunch of D2 teams and NAIA
they're not
teams
trying.
in February. So like you have a very capped way of getting to the NCAA tournament.
Not
I think
trying.
Michigan State wants to be good at baseball or like okay at baseball.
Still not trying.
Yeah. Well, again, I don't know what trying exactly.
Trying is like spending money, basically.
Well, and I don't know what these teams do spend money on for baseball.
I'd be curious to see what the scholarship situation looks like in the conference. I can't imagine there's many with more than, I don't know, 10 or 15.
Well, there's probably a handful of teams that aren't moving past 11.7.
Right.
So,
well, and you didn't even have to have the 11.7
sure, that's true.
before. Some of them weren't even funded that
That's
much.
true.
So it's a matter of who is trying. That's for sure. Okay, Joey, tell me about what's going on.
Hooray!
What's crack-a-lackin' in the World Cup?
Well, we are finally done with the first matches of the group stages. So yesterday we had 4 matches. The first was Portugal, Congo DR, which I find hilarious. It ended in a draw. So Portugal was up early 1-0, and then the Congo DR equalized it like right in extra time going into the halftime. And then nothing happened after. I know Ronaldo robbed a teammate a potential goal opportunity. I don't know if Schaefer, if you saw the replay, but he stole the ball away from from a teammate who had like a clear shot at getting the lead.
I apologize for my ignorance here. What happened with the Congo DR? How did we get Congo DR?
They beat Nigeria.
No. How did we get to Congo DR? Why is it called Congo DR?
It's the Democratic Republic.
Yeah, well, generally.
We just changed because they used to call them the Democratic Republic of the Congo, right?
Well, they've had various leadership
That's what I'm
changes.
wondering. That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah.
The problem.
I don't know my
I gotta be
geopolitical.
very careful.
I don't know the geopolitical landscape.
Yeah.
I apologize.
That's actually. Let's just leave it.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that. But anyway, England-Croatia was the game of the day. Lots of fireworks in the first half, but England ended up winning 4-2. Harry Kane scored 2 goals. One of them was a penalty, which the penalty was a do-over. He missed the first attempt, which was called back because I think Croatia moved a little early, which I don't see how that impacts Harry Kane's attempt. But then
that whole thing was weird, but England kind of dominated the rest of the game.
And his second goal was a header. That was great. And then the third game was Ghana-Panama. That was scoreless until like extra time. Ghana scored the goal in the last minute of extra time. And then there was a little bit of fighting near the end of the game. Typical. But Ghana ended up winning 1-0 against Panama. And then the last game, I did not watch it, but Colombia beat Uzbekistan 3-1.
So I guess it was 2-1 when I
I watched I saw the last
goal.
Last second goal in stoppage time.
Okay, today we have Czechia and South Africa in Atlanta.
Yes,
we
sir.
have Switzerland and Bosnia in LA at SoFi. We have Canada and Qatar in Vancouver. Wow, home game for Canada. And then we have Mexico and South Korea in Guadalajara today.
Also a
home game for Mexico.
Well, that's what they're doing for Canada and U.S. and Mexico.
That's right. And tomorrow
matches.
It's the U.S. in Seattle against the Aussies.
Hooray! The Socceroos.
I wonder if Blake Cavell from Troy will be sad when they lose to the United States tomorrow. All right. I'm too College World Series pilled right now. Quick timeout. We'll be back 7:00 hour right after this on 1620 The Zone. Hey, we are inching closer and closer to the peak of summer. The longest day of the year is just a few days away.
Ooh.
So 1620 The Zone and Arby's are teaming up for the summer sizzle giveaway. It's about to start sizzling. We have been too lucky with our delicious 70-degree weather. So how about some delicious Arby's? Every week, all summer long, you could win a combo meal, 13 weeks of hot, delicious wins. No cooking, no stressing, just sizzling bites on us and Arby's. Enter now at 1620thezone.com to make this your tastiest summer yet. I became aware of like 3 to 4 things, I think, that happened in Husker land over the last 1 week of time. I keep hearing about the Red Sea, something about the Red Sea, and it's rising. Is this true?
Sure.
Have you heard about this?
No.
Really?
That one I haven't.
The Red Sea rising.
Has Dana heard of it?
No, I haven't seen that.
Well, I would hope that Dana has heard about it. This is the whole deal that they're doing Saturday.
Okay.
They're calling it Red Sea Rising. You didn't know this?
No. All I know is there's some announcement coming on June 20th, and the last time they played up a giant announcement, it was like,
I am a bit skeptical about the big announcement.
So I basically am like, I'm not going to listen or pay attention to this until it actually is announced, and then I can react.
I admittedly am a bit skeptical about the big announcement.
Sure.
I am concerned about what the big announcement is.
I don't know how to phrase this. Fringe media types have played it up as it's going to be huge, which only adds to me not expecting much.
Ooh, who's a fringe media type?
Think of YouTube.
Oh, the YouTubers are talking about how it's going to be awesome. I'm excited.
One in particular.
This is great. This is fantastic. Oh, that one guy. Oh, Wilson Dittman.
Yeah, I was not trying to say the name.
I know. No, I like seeing his tweets sometimes because they're always also wrong. It's so funny. And so
you can't reply to him.
And you can't reply to anyone. I mean, it's genius, really. He's got that thing down to a science. So Red Sea Rising will be at Memorial Stadium on Saturday night, which will include the second annual Battle of the Boneyard 7-on-7 tournament presented by Adidas, and an exciting special announcement to cap the evening. Buy tickets to this thing and go and watch the 7-on-7 event. I don't know what kind of crowd you're going to get for that. I would think that it mostly depends on the weather in a situation like that. And then I saw the hubbub yesterday about the reseeding of Pinnacle Bank Arena. And the folks who sit at Pinnacle Bank Arena and watch Nebraska basketball games, just a brief sampling of this, do not seem to be happy, which makes a lot of sense. This is not this coming basketball season, but after this coming basketball season. So this is for the 27-28. So basically what they're going to do is wipe the whole arena for season ticket holders and start over again.
Yeah.
Which is fascinating.
Yeah, it's I'll be curious. There's a lot of things to this that I'm fascinated how it's going to go, but it just, again, like, overarching thing to me is that you have chosen yet another venue and yet another, like, specific part of your fan base, the basketball people this time, previously the volleyball, which, having heard from some of those going through the receipt process there, not going well. Not going really well. Heard from other people that donated more than my first salary when I left college to maintain their volleyball seats. So,
and did they get what they wanted?
I think they're, well, let me, how do I want to phrase this? They were able to keep their seats. I don't know that they're thrilled that what they had to do to keep their seats, but it meant that much to them, and they are at the stage of life where they could do it.
I want to, from a fan experience standpoint, do you really want all the rich people in one spot? You know, do you really want all the people who are donating?
Let's find out, Troy.
It's fascinating.
I have so many questions. I would love to have a chance to talk with Troy Dannon to see what he thinks this does to the crowd.
There's basically
care what it does to the environment of the buildings, of which they're now changing.
So what I'm imagining
what
is like a sort of a class system as you go back.
I mean, that's basically what it is. So I have friends that have seats that are very good for volleyball. I mean, really good. And they got into it. I want to say 2013 was the first year that they ended up in these seats. So they've had them now for 13 plus years. They pay the donation along with it. They pay the donation along with other things, whatever. They don't get to pick their next seats until Monday. There's a very good chance that they won't even be in the B level anymore. Like, so, you know, they're going to go from where they were at, which was about 4 rows off of the floor, and they attended basically every volleyball game that they could as long as they were in town. And when they weren't, they either sold them or gave them to people more likely, or if nobody else was going to go, they would sell them.
Yeah.
And so now those are the kind of people, and it's not just them. There's other people. There's people whose only tickets are volleyball tickets and have been volleyball tickets for 25 years, whether they had to move from the Coliseum over to Devaney or whatever it is. Volleyball is their sport. Only thing they care about. They don't donate for other things. They don't care about other things. There's a lot of people like this for volleyball and for basketball.
Yes,
These are
yes,
not.
there are.
And baseball,
And baseball.
same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine softball has an element of that too. Why are these people asked to move out of where they're at when they're the ones that care? They're the ones that propped up your programs through good years and bad years. Volleyball doesn't have bad years, but you know what I mean. Like,
they're always there.
These are the lifeblood of what makes Nebraska athletics beyond football matter. Like, these are the people that actually care about your programs when they aren't necessarily great. And so my fear with Pinnacle Bank Arena, as someone who's watched that building undergo shifts of interest, you know, when it first opened and people really wanted to be a part of it, and it comes along with a surprise season with the NCAA tournament, followed by basically 2 to 3 sort of so-so years, and then you have the really bad Fred years.
Yeah, there's a kind of like recycling through, and it happens naturally.
And you're going to tell people who have donated and have sat at the 100 level and have gone to horrible basketball games and watched the beginning of the Fred Hoiberg era, like, hey, you don't donate for other sports, you might be in the 200s now. Like, what are you doing to this building? What are you doing to the fan base? What are you doing to the environment that was created so when Purdue does come to town and they're number one, and the people who actually pay and have sat in these seats and care about this program before it became like a popular thing to do, if you would, you're just kicking them out for what? For people who aren't going to go when you have your crappy home schedules, which is another part of this. You haven't rewarded the fan base with particularly good basketball games at home. I mean, you get Creighton at home, and that's supposed to be your entire thing. You're playing a ton of neutral sites games now. You haven't been able to get people to play you for home and home.
Look, Creighton's very often home this year.
What I mean, though, is that's their when it is a home game, that's generally their marquee home game.
Sure.
Because they don't have anything else. Like, it's been a long time since you played Kansas at home, 2017. You know, like, you don't play in the Gavitt games or the ACC Challenge, so you don't even luck into some of those where they weren't particularly good when you're getting non-Al Skinner's Boston College to show up and lose by 25 points on a Wednesday.
You have nice. You have to hope that the Big Ten gives you something, and it really hasn't that much.
A lot of this is like, how do you look at this fan base that has sat through all of this, got to experience what they did over these last couple of years with the teams and the run that they've had created an amazing home environment. And you're like, you know who we need to accommodate? The people who are crying on my phone all the time that they can't get better seats at basketball games because they weren't part of this initially when the tickets were sold.
I'm really glad that you mentioned the fan experience part.
That's all I care about.
I think that's huge. I mean, and it is absolutely, I don't know if it's being purposefully ignored, because I could certainly see it from athletic department's perspective, right? You want to be able to monetize your best seats if you like and get more money on. But part of the experience of going to a sporting event, especially one that you have season tickets to, is that you sit with the same people every game. You sit with the same, and I'm not just talking about that's a great thing
crowd of people
for the
that
fans.
I
think that helps the event as a whole, right? If you have a sort of quote unquote family of people. Remember on Fever Pitch when Jimmy Fallon goes to the thing and he's you've seen Fever Pitch. You must have seen it 100 times. You know, Jimmy Fallon goes to the thing.
I haven't seen it 100 times.
He's got his his baseball Red Sox family, right? That he shows up with, that he invites him over for, whatever, or he doesn't see him until the Red Sox games every year. But whatever it is, you got your people that I'm sitting around. Never was that more evident from when we do the Upper Bowl nights at Creighton every year. And I go up there and it's like, yeah, it's just, this group of people, we've been sitting in these exact
and they don't want to move,
and they don't want to move
their people
because they like them and they like sitting around their people and they don't want to be displaced out of them. And so there are ways to do this where you don't have to wipe the slate clean, like Creighton did their competitive excellence fee.
Sure.
Which I don't know that that's the right way to do it, or what, like I don't know what's right and what's wrong, but I don't know if wiping the building clean and just starting the process over and making it, it's certainly the cleanest way for the athletic department to do it,
I guess,
but I don't know. I don't know if that's the right way to go.
What is the aim of what you're attempting to do here? Because when will you ever have enough? Because if this is about creating more money for the athletic department to pay for other sports and NIL and everything else, and you're doing it through the popularity of basketball and volleyball and those venues, like
I would imagine the idea
to know from Dannon, like what percentage of this extra income that you're going to end up with actually goes back to basketball.
The idea
to support a basketball program that's already underfunded in the NIL market anyways, if that's what this whole thing is.
That is true. Now that part is true. I don't know. I mean, it goes. It all goes into one.
It's going to go back to basketball, as what you would hope.
No, I don't think so. I think
so what are you funding?
I don't know. It'll go all into this Huskers athletic department.
These amorphous pot of money that there's never enough money in college athletics. We need more and more and more. Like seriously,
But the idea is, and once again, I'm not defending this, but the idea is you want to match the quality of seat to the money that you're getting out of it. There is, how they look at it is, there is a number attached to every single seat in the building. And if you are bringing in lower than what that number says from a donation standpoint, then you are viewed as taking a hit. It is viewed as taking a loss. Now, once again, we know how sports work. It shouldn't be viewed as that simplistic of a thing. There's more things that go into it than just dollars and cents that either make your building fun and a great experience. And
so what is it that you want?
Things. What is it that you want?
Troy
that
Dannon
is ultimately the
money.
question. Yes.
We've seen this over and over and over. And I think he needs to actually stand out in front of people and answer this instead of just being on radio shows or controlled interview environments or whatever it is. Like, it's all you've done when it comes to this. And it's just not like, I don't have any problem with Troy Dannon. He's doing what he's supposed to do for the athletic department, but over and over and over, whether it's volleyball, whether it's been the seeding process with postseason tickets, and now we are here with basketball, which we knew this was coming. Like, this isn't, no one should have been surprised that this got announced. Honestly, the biggest surprise to me is that they were kind enough to give people an entire year of preparation for it.
Yeah.
Like, I genuinely thought, like, these people, the way that it works, they're going to try to maximize by immediately doing it after the NCAA tournament run of this past year, and that's their maximum opportunity to do it. So the biggest surprise to me out of all of this is that there's a year from it.
Thanks.
But like, every single step of the way here has never been about, we care about our fans. It's, we care about the money generated by our boosters. Every single time. So don't turn around and talk about how you love Nebraska's fan base and what it means for all of these people to show up and all of this. You don't care about that. You've shown it every single step of the way. When you assign money to a seat,
right,
you're saying, I don't care that that person had been in the building for 13 years watching bad basketball and now gets to be in the pinnacle of Nebraska basketball's existence and in the sport at this time. That doesn't matter to me. They don't give me enough money to sit in that seat, because they don't donate for football, and they don't donate for volleyball, and they don't donate for this, and they're not providing enough for the Husker fund, and they don't do this. They only pay for basketball. And then you have the people who have populated your 300 level who don't have to donate. They might get pushed out because the 200 level is going to get moved up there. So then what happens to those people who filled your arena for 12, 13 years, who've created an environment where you're actually full to the top? And now you're going to start playing these midweek games at 8 o'clock to fit the Big Ten schedule, and there's going to be nobody there. because the people who want the tickets for the really good games aren't going to show up for the bad games. They're not going to bother to give them to their friends to go to games.
That'd just be gone.
And so then you're going to have this stupid announcement that I don't know if you've ever had to do it for women's basketball, but we haven't had it in men's basketball in a long time. The 200 level can move down to the 100 level at Pinnacle Bank Arena.
Oh, that's a good PA voice. You should do that. You sound like Bill Jensen just then. That was good.
I've never done PA.
You should do
it. I'm mad about this, and I'm going to be fine. Like, I want to be very clear. Whatever happens, I've sat in the 300 level. I've sat in the 200 level. I've sat in the 100 level. I'm mad because I like where I sit right now. I like the people that I'm around. That's been about 6 years in the making of just being in this area. And, you recognize these people as you come up to the game. I have no idea what their names are. I mean,
it's like, hey, guy with the beard. You don't call him guy with the beard, but it's guy with the, it's like, hey, good to see you.
Or, there's a gentleman that lives here in Omaha that
you're the guy who shouts over the back constantly. I like you.
He'll turn around and he'll basically be like, yeah, you said this on this segment. I don't really agree with it, but I love that interaction. I don't want that to go away. I don't know this guy's name. I don't know if I'm going to see him again, but
you can make the argument, Schaefer, that,
you're ruining the communal aspect of what makes the building great when you assign numbers to seats.
And so when you're doing that, when you're doing that, you are almost not taking advantage of what you said there in the middle, which is, the greatest fans in college sports, right? If you minimize it to just, how you could get the most donation money out of it, like the cool part of the Nebraska fan base is that it is everyone, everywhere, all the time. And I would say in an even larger perspective, what Nebraska, the University of Nebraska has always been about, it's not like, one big donor has come along and supplied the whole NIL chain or whatever it is. And it's never really been like that. It's never been about 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 people who are propping this thing up. It is like that at other places. This has always been we think we have strength in numbers, so we'll flock to places. And yes, admittedly, there are limitations, I think, from a monetary perspective when your fan base is designed that way. But your fan base is that way. That's just the truth of how your fan base works. It is, you can't copy the Miami model here. You can't copy the Texas Tech. And I'm not talking about NIL or anything like that. I'm just saying from the perspective of, hey, we have, 6 people who, really, really, really prop this thing up and we have to take care of them. And it's not 6. Like I'm looking at the athletic fund ranking system right now, and it says there's 378 people in the leadership society, the 25,000 plus, club or whatever it is. And those people will get the first access to all the stuff. So there's basically 2,500 people in the 5,000 plus your range from the Husker athletic, and those are the people. Like at other programs, it's a little bit more skewed, even more to the top. I would say. And so like Nebraska's strength and Nebraska's uniqueness is that it literally is the greatest fan base, in America. It's not like the greatest 90 people.
You didn't get Oklahoma City because people have a bunch of donor points.
No.
You got Oklahoma City because people care about the Huskers on there. They care about the basketball team. They care about the softball team. They care about the baseball team. Like part of the Nebraska fan experience is caring beyond just football. Not everybody. I certainly hear from plenty of people who would only like to see the football program be the only part of the athletic.
There are definitely those people. There are a lot of people who are just like, screw football, basketball.
I also hear from people who are like, you know what? I don't care about that over there.
Yeah.
These other sports are winning. That's what I want to support. So, like, again, you have to strike a balance, but the way that this has come out every time from Dannon and from the athletic department, it always feels hollow. And then the rhetoric that follows about the greatest fans feels empty because you don't care about the fans as fans. You care about the donation dollars. And every action that you have taken as it relates to tickets speaks to this. Here's the other thing. We're not exactly in the greatest of economic times either. So you're turning around, you're asking people to either donate more money to keep their seats or just give up the seats that they have. And then likely you're going to, in this reseat process, charge people more money for the seats that they're going to end up with that are likely worse than the seats they already had.
Debo says Creighton and Nebraska could both find a way to reward the most loyal fans. Ticket scan rate above 90% shouldn't get you booted from your seat.
Agreed.
Yeah, there's been, I think, a lot more conversation about that, amongst fans as they realize they are getting priced out. It's like, hey, look, I go to every game and there's stats to show this, and the ticket department's all, they all know who shows up.
Well, everything's digitized
and
now.
it should be, rewarded based on that. I've used we had a list of when we did the Upper Bowl appreciation last year of all the people who had gone to every game.
No, I don't think there was a single game this year where the guy that I share my season basketball tickets with and I didn't have someone in those seats.
So I don't know how you
including all of your bad non-conference games like South Carolina Upstate and all of that.
And you know what's funny? I don't want to speak for everybody, but I don't want to be, if I'm that fan and I show up to 100% of the games and I am getting reseated, I don't want to be rewarded with a pizza party. I don't want to be rewarded with a dinner or a medallion or an autographed basketball or something like that. I want my seats.
Yeah.
I want what I want. I want what I paid for. That's it. I just want to be able to do my job. And my job is cheering for the team every single game loudly.
Right.
I don't want some special access to practice, or because that's what they'll probably try to do. They'll be like, all right, as an olive branch, here you go. We'll send you a commemorative coin.
Yeah, if you come to the Sioux Falls game, you can come over to the extra gym. Well, they'll have some Valentinos, and Coach Hoiberg might stop by for 2 minutes and say hello.
Yeah.
That's a thing they do.
That's the pizza party of, basketball.
When you said that, that's the first thing that came to mind is that's a thing that they do.
I don't want a pizza party. I want my damn seats. I agree. That stuff frustrates me. So we'll keep an eye on that for sure and see where it goes. But it is indeed happening, and I don't think it's particularly been received well.
No.
Let's take a quick break. Any thoughts on that? We'll take them 402-951-1620 on the Prayflower Casino Zone hotline. You can also text that number as well. Tweet at us at HappenSchafe on the Liquid Trucking Zone Twitter feed. We'll be back right after this on 1620 The Zone. All right. Welcome back. Happer and Schaefer rolling on 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com. We got a bunch of giveaways going on right now at 1620thezone.com, including 1620 The Zone road trip, where you could win tickets to Royals Tigers on August 23rd. Seated inside the Blue Moon Tap Room, free parking pass, 4 passes to Adventureland, $150 to Early Bird, $10 for a year, and a $100 Ivy gift card. Are you kidding me? Enter online 1620thezone.com. So speaking of things that Connor missed, I think we're going to go through a bunch of different deals here that I just was caught glancing blows of. So the first one that I really didn't have the time to really inundate myself in happened on the very first day of the College World Series, which was the whole Pat McAfee Rocco's deal.
Okay, yeah.
I was in the general media area, and somebody came up to me and was like, "Did you see? Yeah, Pat McAfee went over to Rocco's, because I saw that he had gone to Rocco's the previous night, and
the Thursday night,
and so I saw that. I was like, oh, okay, and then I knew that he was going to do his show because I walked by on Friday, and there was just a horde of West Virginia fans waiting to get into the Blatt, and somebody told me in the media area after, as we got into the games, like, oh yeah, Pat went on his show and he basically just ripped the Rockers thing.
Basically, that's what happened.
3 minutes. I'm like, this is not good. So that was one of the things I had to catch up on. That was quite the ordeal there between.
How much effort did you put catching up on the McAfee Rocco schism?
I mean, I don't even really know what the main arguments are.
It feels like two people that didn't quite understand the other person from what I have heard.
This is a miscommunication, I think.
And then a joke that didn't land, that wasn't received as a joke. And, McAfee acknowledged that he didn't give them the heads up that they had asked if he was coming through, because he had a couple other requests that they weren't able to honor.
Yeah.
Because he didn't give them time.
So the line was like, he got mad because the guy told him that his checks would bounce.
Yeah.
Which everyone
was a joke.
It had to have been, because there was just a story last week that McAfee's making $60 million from ESPN. I mean, that had to have been the joke, right?
Yeah, I would assume.
Yeah, okay.
Right. It wasn't.
I would have got the joke. That was a
I'm
decent
only
joke.
hearing it off of someone else who heard it directly from one of the participants. But so I'm now like third, fourth hand.
It's kind of a good joke.
Yeah, it didn't land apparently. So
yeah.
But I think they managed to figure it out after his appearance on the show. So
that's great.
Yeah.
There was no video. I didn't see any TikToks about them kissing and making up.
Oh, well, there is some social media niceties, I think, that
course.
occurred after it.
And that's nice.
And, in defense of McAfee, not that he really needs defense, he did drop a bunch of money on Jello shots. So
with his checks.
Yeah, with his checks. I think they figured that out.
Which I don't blame him for.
My favorite
shut up and take my money.
Though, is he said he asked the guy, well, do you know anyone that has a credit card limit for that much money?
Yeah.
I laughed at that. That was pretty good.
It's pretty funny, because what do you do? How do you buy $150,000?
Is he supposed to show up with a cashier's check for Jello shots?
So he did what everyone thought what you would do, which is, if you're that rich, you just write a bunch of checks and you just see how far it gets you. So that was one that I kind of got caught up on a little bit. Was there any other drama like around the College World Series? Like not inside of the ballpark stuff? There was the Troy got their stuff stolen.
Yeah, I did see that someone went onto their bus and took
camera equipment.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
So I didn't really, outside of that headline, which I think that probably tells you the story.
Well, the lack of pepperoni rolls.
That was a headline. With all
Omaha.
apologies to Troy and their camera equipment, I'm a little bit more miffed about that than anything else.
And then there were the things that happened outside of the sphere of the College World Series, which I became aware that the Knicks had won the NBA championship, and now I am very aware. Have you seen the streets of New York this morning?
No, I haven't seen that.
I don't think you. I bet you have, Joey. I bet you're just not admitting it. It's very interesting. You've seen a lot of pictures this morning.
It's painful for me to see. I feel bad for the non-New York Knicks fans.
Who hates the Knicks? It's the Knicks.
People who don't care about
losers.
sports, just trying to move on with their lives, trying to do it.
I don't really think the Knicks are as likable as you present them to be.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, they are generally an over-discussed team that loses a lot prior to recent seasons.
Yeah, but in from a tone,
in the pantheon of they're not as obnoxious as the Yankees or even the Giants.
Yeah, the tone on the Knicks is that they suck. Right. They get talked about a lot, but they suck.
Sure.
That's the tone. It's not like, they should be a lot better. Like that's never the tone with them.
I think the general belief is, how are they this bad?
They've been a joke.
Yeah.
They've been a joke. It's a joke team won the finals.
Right. I mean, again, outside of and even inside of New York, I don't know how much the Knicks actually mattered to people until they ended up making the finals.
Oh, no, the Knicks matter. No, New Yorkers love the Knicks.
I have definitely seen people I know who live in New York that did not mention that they were in the Eastern Conference Finals a year ago. Yeah. No pictures of them in Knicks hats, and then
New Yorkers love
they make the finals now, and it's suddenly very
because the other fan bases are split, right? You have Mets, you have Mets, Yankees, you have Jets, Giants, you have the hockey teams or whatever. But you only have the Knicks. Nobody cares about the Nets.
I feel like that's a city that when one of those teams that isn't like the Yankees or Mets is having success, people will end up rooting for it out of obligation too.
Maybe.
Because when the Nets were supposedly good, there was lots of people who cared about the Nets. And then as soon as they became bad, nobody cared about the Nets.
Nobody cares about. Now the Nets are different because they were in Jersey and
they were in Jersey and then they were in Brooklyn.
They had a fan base in Jersey. Sure. And now they're in Brooklyn.
The Brooklyn people that I know adopted them, but now they're also the same one wearing the Knicks stuff.
Sure.
So it's kind of that's kind of what I mean. I think it's okay, this team is good. Now I'm going to root for it.
Apparently my Carolina Hurricanes won the Stanley Cup. Thank you.
Hooray.
Huge. I love the Canes. Those
a
are
big
my
win
guys.
for the city of Raleigh.
How many games did it take?
6.
Wow.
Yeah. The last
3-0 in the
3-0 in the closeout game.
No.
Tremendous.
Up until the last
was
game.
It in did they clinch in Raleigh?
No, Vegas.
They clinched in Vegas.
I hate when they clinch on the road. Cancel clinching on the road.
It was hilarious.
Both of these series were clinched on the road.
It was hilarious. It was, especially with the Knicks winning it all. It was hilarious. They clinched it in San Antonio, not at home in front of their fans. So the fans,
there's a lot of
there were still a lot of fans, but it would be different if it was like at MSG. It would be more chaotic.
The scene would have been
more chaotic
wild
for Connor's liking.
Yeah, I would have liked to see both of those get clinched at home.
Well, if you're I was thinking about this. If you're the Hurricanes players, you're not going to clinch in your home city. Clinching in Vegas seems like a pretty.
That is a good alternative.
It's better than if you clinched in Edmonton.
Definitely better than if you clinched in San Antonio.
Like I said, there was
Galveston with the dirty water.
Joey was watching this too until he probably just turned it off and then plugged his ears and whatever else. At least of the game 5 that I watched, there was a lot of blue and orange in that.
I saw a couple
and then they were
people
making their way closer. You could see that it was starting to fill in.
Oh yeah,
as people were vacating.
Ernie Johnson mentioned this was kind of or it was either him or Mike Breen. They mentioned this kind of felt like a college atmosphere just at the very end of the game when all the Knicks fans were gathering around during the ceremony.
I saw a couple folks that were really mad because I guess there was a plane coming from New York that got in on the day of the game, but it one of the airlines screwed him or whatever. And it was just people were like, "Oh my God, I'm sitting on a tarmac and I have tickets to the Knicks winning the NBA final."
That is on you.
Awful.
That is on you for poor planning. Go a day early. Give yourself plenty of time.
I mean, but let's just pretend you don't have that, Joey, and you're sitting on a plane while you have tickets to the game and your team won the finals. That would be the worst.
I mean, I bought tickets to something like the morning of a flight out because it seemed like everything was going to be fine. And then within 2 minutes of me purchasing, to buy these tickets, they announced over that the plane had a failure of one of its safety checks and it's Lincoln, so they had no other plane. So I ended up having to wait for 5 hours. So some of it is like you're just at the mercy of how awful air travel can be.
Mr. Sorbet.
Yeah, Mr. Sorbet is off to the NFL. Hooray!
Okay. All right. So that just resolved itself.
Yeah, I think everything ended up working, other than if you were Texas Tech and in that video, if you were in that 22-minute video, everybody else won.
What are we going to get mad about for the next month until media days? We have to have something. There must be a summer topic.
I think you underestimate my ability to be mad at anything and everything.
No, but there has to be one thing
Collective outrage?
Yeah, we could all get mad about together.
Society will come through.
You're right. But will it involve college athletics?
That I can't speak to. It could involve a number of things.
We do have the World
Joey
Cup.
might get mad that he might have Giannis on his basketball
Yes,
team.
I will not be happy if Giannis is on my team because they might trade Jaylen Brown. But there's some people saying that
they might trade a worse player for a better player, and Joey is
Jaylen Brown's not a worse player.
You think Jaylen Brown's better than Giannis?
Did you not see his NBA Finals
Did you not
campaign?
see Giannis won a ring?
He is terrible outside of the paint. He is not a reliable outside the paint shooter. He's terrible at the free throw line.
He's thinking of two different
Yeah,
basketballs.
this is
He's not going to fit with the
talking about him
Celtics
like he's
system.
Chris Kaman.
He's a great player, but he's not going to work with the Celtics.
A transcendent NBA player who's now on, the older part of his career.
I'm sure Giannis is going to work out with 28 other franchises, but the Celtics, it's not going to work out with him. It's not going to work out with the system they run.
I'm sure that they can find a way to incorporate.
I don't think trading Jaylen Brown for Giannis is the answer to the problems.
That is incredible.
What are the problems?
They need a center. They need a center. They need a point guard.
They need Giannis.
Giannis is a
what
a
position
power
does Giannis play?
He's a power forward.
Oh, really? I think he could kind of do a lot of different things.
Sure seems like we're splitting hairs here, Joey.
He's 7.5.
There's
feet
other
tall.
guys I prefer them to have.
7.5?
I mean, he's 7 foot, like what, 3 or 4?
No, he's not that tall.
I don't.
I think he's 7'1".
I don't trust him shooting the basketball outside of the paint, shooting the free
Since
throws.
when is that important for a center?
That's everyone else's job.
Yes, I know that.
Oh, he's gonna be fine. You're gonna love him. You're gonna have a Giannis jersey in the next 6 months.
I'll support him if he's on the team, but I don't want this to happen.
I have a prediction. Joey will have a Giannis jersey within the next.
All right,
6
I'll add
months.
that to the proclamation.
If Joey gets a Giannis jersey, he has to eat California Pizza Kitchen.
Deal?
Like if they end up with Giannis and he ends up liking Giannis, he's
gonna love Giannis.
I don't know why he wouldn't love Giannis.
I'll love Giannis. I'll love him because he would be on the Celtics.
Seems like someone that'd be fun to root for.
I'll love everybody on the Celtics. I just don't want this to happen.
Even if James Harden was on the Celtics.
Oh no, I will be angry.
He becomes a Knicks fan.
No.
All right. Nebraska.
At least I still have Baylor Shireman.
What? Did you go to the Nebraska ball movie?
No, I wasn't there.
I heard Fred Hoiberg did F words.
He did what?
F words in the movie.
Oh, I totally heard something else that would have been quite an experience if I heard was what I heard. But no,
I have seen some behind the scenes Fred Hoiberg stuff before. He gets them going pregame. I'll tell you what. So I can only imagine what this movie was like.
I think the relatively tame appearance that he makes in front of the media is very much not who he is, and the movie makes that pretty.
You're gonna have to ask Jake Sorensen if he's gonna go to a screening of the movie, or if
trying to get Jack Mitchell to put it on his garage,
or if he's seen it, if he's cried during the movie.
I don't know if Jake was there.
I don't think so.
He did not join us last Friday, so I don't know where he's been in the world recently.
The world of Jake Sorensen.
There's this running deal where I'm gone on Fridays, and then every guest that Schaefer has lined up backs out on it.
Well, there was that week where you were gone for the Big East, and we had like 3 of our regular guests, and that caused me a lot more consternation than anything this last.
So
week.
I was really sad when Jake texted us. He was like, "Hey, I can't do this Friday," and I was like, "Ooh, sore subject."
We got somebody instead of him.
I think it was a recruiting guy.
We had Andrew Ivins on. That was good.
Ivins was on.
Joey, Sam says as long as you have Baylor Shireman.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I already mentioned Baylor Shireman. As long as he's still on the team, we good. I got the Baylor Shireman jersey, and I can't wait to sport it next season.
Could you imagine Baylor Shireman plus Giannis? What a combo.
I mean, if Baylor Sharman keeps up what he's been doing lately, I'll be really
what
happy
if
about.
Baylor Shireman teaches Giannis how to shoot better, and they become like a buddy movie?
If it works out.
If it works out. I thought Baylor was back in town again, shooting more basketballs with more friends.
Joe Mazzulla was there for like a workout.
Oh, but there was another one.
Oh, there was another one?
Yeah, he brought another friend.
Is it a teammate from the Celtics?
It could have been an old Creighton guy. I can't remember. But once again, I just see these things at glance over the last
I haven't
week.
really been seeing this stuff.
That's a pretty good catch me up on some of the things that I've missed. I'm sure I've missed more. There were things that happened in the world, I'm sure.
You get to enjoy the parade today.
Oh, yes, I do.
Connor's going to leave the building after the crossover, and that's like the first thing he'll turn on. Then he'll probably fall asleep.
I thought he's going to go home and mow. What's the status of your grass here?
Not available to mow yet.
Okay. How long do you have to wait?
I think couple weeks.
Wow.
Which I suppose we're getting close.
Has it grown? And have you
not
seen,
really? It's not.
It hasn't rooted into the soil at this point.
We're still hooking them in, yeah. And then we got a lot of other stuff going on too that all sort of happened during the College World Series. Blackhead says Jemiah Neal was back with it. Yes, Jemiah Neal was back. That was great to see. Okay, quick break. We'll come back. Joey has the headlines. Don't forget to get your opinions in for I Have an Opinion coming up in 15 minutes. We're back after this on 1620 The Zone. All right, I have an opinion coming up in 10 minutes. Get your opinions in at Happer Schaefer on the Liquid Trucking Zone Twitter feed. First, let's get to the headlines from Joey. Joey, what do we got?
Okay, headline number 1. A month-old pony moves to a 4th-floor apartment in Croatia. Neighbors don't mind. But
Pony
would you
on the
mind
4th
if that
floor.
happens?
I would not like a pony to live above me. No. I would not be on the 3rd floor in Croatia.
That doesn't sound great.
No.
Jokic would be in favor for that.
I don't think he'd like the noise. He keeps his ponies separate.
He wants them to run, be wild and free.
Okay, what's the second one?
Boston bars say Scottish soccer fans are drinking them dry. Have you seen it? Have you heard of this? The Scottish invasion of Boston.
I haven't. I'm
I
interested.
actually have.
That's another thing
I've
you
heard
missed, Connor.
quite a bit about just like the whole scene over there. Like a lot of Scottish people showed up for this World Cup game.
What do you want to do? 1 or 2? Pony or Boston?
Probably the pony.
I think the pony
Like
too.
I mean, given that the Nebraska fan base drank the Oklahoma
That's
City
basically
bars
the
dry,
story.
I don't really know that there's a whole lot difference. coming
Where's
here.
my Busch Light?
There's more haggis over there in Boston, I guess.
A month-old pony named Mile is the newest resident of an apartment building in the northern Croatian coastal town of Ravinj. Mile has moved in temporarily to his owner's 4th floor flat because his mother rejected him at birth. He also needs round-the-clock care after undergoing an operation for a life-threatening infection in neighboring Slovenia, where people donated to cover the cost of his treatment. Wow, people really love this horse. Quote, every 2 hours, we warm up his milk and feed him, his owner said. If we forget to feed him, he wakes up and he comes in to rouse us up. The owner, I think this is the owner lives, I will not try to pronounce the name, lives in a 1-bedroom flat with her partner, her 2 sons, and a dog, and now a 4-month-old horse. The unusual newcomer has drawn attention in the neighborhood, but no one has complained. The owner is hopeful that the horse will recover fully as he now eats well and has gained a kilogram, 2.2 pounds. He seems cheerful with a strong desire to suckle, eat, and fight, she said. Those are the 3 most important things in Slovenia. The first night, the vet thought there was no hope and wanted to put him down, she recalled. I said, let's try in the morning. The family runs a small ranch and a playroom for children in Bale, some 15 kilometers from where they live, with llamas, pigs, horses, and sheep. So eventually, I would imagine the horse will find a home there at the farm, but right now it is in the 4th floor city flat.
Would you take in the pony into your household, Connor?
I would most certainly not want to.
Not even for your daughter?
I mean, Joey, I don't want a dog, so I definitely don't want a horse. I don't want a dog. I don't want a cat. I don't want anything that could make a mess that isn't me or my child. So no, I am saying decline on the horse.
Connor's out on fun.
Now, if
just
it
like
comes
John
down
Bishop
to
in beach balls.
If it comes down to horse dying or me taking the horse in, I would find an alternative solution. I would say, go somewhere else, horse. I want to keep you alive. Maybe you could stay a night, but please don't die.
I don't know why. All I'm thinking about right now is the Seinfeld episode. Like very early on in their run, Jerry's at like a dinner party and he makes a joke about how only like rich snobby people own a horse. And this lady is like, I had a pony. Yeah. It's a very good pony. It's just the way she kept saying pony was like, every time you would say pony, I was just imagining her talking about that pony.
It is definitely a lot funnier of a word to say.
Yeah. Pony.
With
like the Slavic accent or whatever.
Stay gold, pony boy.
Yeah, I'm going to say no. And I certainly wouldn't. I mean, the worst case scenario is that you don't even have the pony. You're not bringing in the pony. The pony is your neighbor's pony. And it's already distracting and disrupting you. That's not what you want. All right. It's time for I Have an Opinion, folks. Send in your opinions right now, 402-951-1620. We'll get to those after this on 1620 The Zone. All right, it's time for I Have an Opinion. The game is simple. You send in opinions, we read them and react to them. I do want to remind folks, though, that even though the preliminary part of the College World Series has come to an end, the Omaha Baseball Village rolls on, and we will still be out there prior to each of the 2 or 3 championship series games this weekend. I'm even told that I'm doing a show. I'll be there.
Hooray! Wow.
It'll
There
be
you go,
great.
Schaefer.
I think I must have done a Village show last year, or maybe I didn't, and maybe it's been 2 years since I've done a Village show. I'm not sure, but I can't wait to do a show with Matt McMaster.
Hooray!
I am actually excited about it.
It's good. I've enjoyed it.
Can't wait to see what topics he has.
As usual, like you just get him going.
Uh-huh.
Now the question is, who's driving the
Spin him
show?
up and you turn him loose.
Yep.
And at one point, he was standing up, just yelling. Like he's like, I want to stand for this segment, and I immediately knew what my goal was, and it was to get him to just start yelling, and people would walk by, and Matt's just screaming while standing.
I was really worried because the one day I came up and he was in that side, the extra radio booth that wasn't being used at the time, and the West Virginia athletic director was in there with him, and I'm like, this is not good, because last year there was the Rich Hill incident where he was talking Rich Hill's ear off. Did you know
Never heard
about this?
Rich Hill incident?
So Rich Hill was playing for the Storm Chasers at the time, and he
Yeah.
came down to the game, and Matt just talked him just for like 2 hours, like during an entire baseball game. I'm like, this is Rich Hill. Almost for sure didn't enjoy this, but it was just Matt talking. But then I went into this booth, and it was only Ren Baker talking.
Okay.
He was talking more than Matt. They should do a radio show together.
Matt got out talked.
Matt got way out talked.
Wow.
Way out talked by Red Baker. It was crazy.
That's exciting.
It was very exciting. So I can't wait to ask him questions about that, about the first ever time where he's been out talked. So that'll happen on Sunday. There will be
I have an opinion.
a pre-show.
Get ready for some
Baker and
fireworks.
Matt McMaster should do a show in Cape Verde.
It would last 9 hours. They would be able to do they would be able to do unlimited amounts of radio. So we'll have stuff from Sunbelt Bakery, Ted Wally's, and Early Bird Brunch. You can get your free coupons for free hash holes from Early Bird. All right, time for I Have an Opinion. I got some stuff here. We can start with an opinion for. Oh, you know what? I got an opinion the other day via email. I would have to go back and find it. But I do remember this catching my eye at some point.
All right. If you want to search for that, I'll drop an I have an opinion to get us going here.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
I have an opinion.
You have an opinion?
I have an opinion.
Okay.
We have gone too far with the GoFundMe style fundraising.
Oh, dangerous. I like it. This is scary.
It used to be that if you were raising funds for something, you actually provided a service or did something or sold something or attempted to endeavor or provided any reason whatsoever to receive funding.
Is this in reference to the bachelor parties and the bachelorette parties?
No. Wait, I mean, that works. It's in reference to all of them.
Okay.
Just we're way too comfortable as a society, as a collective, as a people of just dropping a link and, writing a few sentences and being like, hey, I'd really appreciate your financial support for this. And in the case of bachelor parties and bachelorette parties, absolutely not.
Yeah.
There's very legitimate reasons for GoFundMe. Like,
There are.
I want to be clear on that.
Yes.
Or for crowd, fundraising things. There's also things where it's like, yeah, that's not really on other people to prop that up for you.
Not.
You could at least attempt to do something here. Sell some candy bars, have a car wash, do a pancake feed, attempt something to bring in people and make money for whatever it is that you seek. It's not on anybody else that you're choosing to spend money. And your way of trying to raise funds is to put a link out there and be like, hey, we would love your support if you could help us out during this time of which we want to do this thing. And we chose to do this thing, but we need some money to do this thing. Come on. Like, it's pathetic. It's super pathetic. And we're seeing it with organizations that traditionally used to do actual fundraising.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's like, well, I could just set up a link and I don't have to do anything. And 2/3 will come to us and 1/3 will go to the creator and it'll be great.
Hooray.
It's just terrible. Like, it's pathetic.
It is a
They're
little
terrible.
little low effort.
I'm consciously leaving out what set me off.
I know. I can't wait to hear what it is.
And you will find out. And you will laugh.
I am very, very excited for you to have another opinion during the break. All right. Here is Pedro. He says, hi, guys. I have an opinion. I am a terrible golfer, but I can't stop playing golf. Is there any other sport that someone can be so bad at and can't wait to go out and play?
I mean, yeah, lots of sports people are bad at. They continue to play. I've played basketball with people that absolutely are horrendous at it, but they love getting a run in of playing basketball.
Yeah, that's true.
There's people like, I don't play tennis, but I know of people that play tennis that aren't particularly good at it, but they love the,
I don't need
enjoyment
to
of
be
it.
good at something to have fun doing it.
Yeah.
It obviously helps,
It enhances it.
but it does.
I also, my personality, like if I'm really bad at something, I don't want to play sand volleyball. I'm the worst volleyball player ever. Now, there's two parts to this. I don't like sand, like being in the sand.
I don't either.
I don't want to be dirty.
I have an opinion.
I don't want to get in
Sand
my
is bad.
car after I've been playing sand volleyball.
Disgusting.
I'm also just atrocious at volleyball. Like, full stop, worst sport.
Do you
that I
have
think I
any
could play.
desire to get better at volleyball?
No, none whatsoever.
No. But you do have a desire to get better at golf.
Yeah,
It's just like, is the juice worth the squeeze?
I have the desire. I don't put the effort in to get better. I've fully realized it's about
But the
myself.
desire is important.
Well, the desire is there because I would like to score better than I actually score.
Mhm.
And I realized a way to do that is I no longer play the difficult course that I play, and my scores have gotten better.
Interesting.
So now I just avoid the difficult courses, and I feel better about myself.
Oh, you've really figured out the hack.
It's worked.
Pedro also had this from earlier in the week that got put on the no context 1620. Hi, guys. I have an opinion. The 1620 broadcast of the College World Series is great. I am listening to the broadcast and watching it on my TV. They are clairvoyant and tell me what is going to happen about 70 seconds before I see it on television. I don't know how they do it, but I am impressed.
Man, Tony Romo's got to be proud. It was funny because I turned on the second game a couple days ago, and you guys, it was when Farron was in the booth, but he just got back on the air, and a beach ball's already on the field, and Farron was just joking around with John about it. I just find it hilarious every time.
Their interaction, their dynamic is really good.
It's flawless.
So sarcastic.
You're in the middle of the Ferris wheel or whatever, but Farron for like a good couple innings kept referring to John as a hunk for some reason or another, and it got me every time.
Nice.
Like every time, because he would sort of just work it in. He's like, hunk of love, John Bishop over here. Just like things like that is great.
He was probably dared by somebody.
I don't know what it was.
Told by somebody to do it.
I just enjoyed it. I didn't need to know. The experience was good.
Farron knows too many people. He's got like inside jokes with everybody. And so you'll see people around the ballpark and they'll all be like, hey, tell Farron this. And he'll be like, okay, that sounds good. It's like, I've never
notebook out and you write it down.
They're like, hey, are you working with Farron? I'm like, yeah, kind of. Just tell him this.
Is it like, hey,
tell him this, he'll get it. And I'll be like, all right, I'll do it. I don't know what I'm saying, but I'll do it.
It'd be great if you pull the notebook out and you're like, hey, the grounds crew says this. The PA guy says this. The person at the snack bar says this.
It's mostly all media people, and they're all like, I love Farron. Farron is the best. And I'm like, I know. I agree.
He's very good.
I love that too. And they're like, tell him this specific thing. And then I will probably forget it or something like that. All right. Let's go back to the text line. Wes, I have an opinion. Ooh, this is a good opinion. This is a topic. This is sort of a topic alert too.
Ooh.
Omaha should not be a host for the first 4 every year when we are consistent hosts for the round of 64 and 32.
I was just having this conversation with my wife yesterday.
Okay, so I saw this. I have seen this. I have heard about this. Dana Holgerson. I have seen this. I have heard about this.
No, I haven't seen that.
No, I haven't. And I didn't read Chatel's story Because Chattel actually came up to me one of the days and he was like, what do you think about this? I was like, Tom, I didn't read your story, but I saw the headline and I say, no, I don't want this. I've been very clear about this. I like the round of 64. I think Omaha is better than a first 4 or a first 12 or whatever stupid thing they're going to call it. And so I might be an Omaha elitist. That might make me an Omahaist. But if I'm an Omahaist, then so be it. Send it to Wichita. Send it to somewhere else.
Send it to Albuquerque.
I will wait every 4 years or every 5 years for my opening round games, and I will take them. And maybe once every generation or whatever, we can get a regional here again. But I'm good. I don't need no stupid first 4 in their stupid expanded tournament. I will not willingly go along with this crap of expanding the tournament. Omaha will not be a part of this. No, thank you. Give me the first round. The real first round.
I agree with all of it. They've already hosted enough. You're always going to have the opportunity to host first round game, the actual first round games. Or like you said, they were, once an actual region. So strive to be that. Pass up the opportunity to be Dayton West and, continue to do what you're doing. I think that's better.
You want 1 seeds, 2 seeds, 3 seeds, 4 seeds. You want the good teams in here, not the 16 seeds or the 12 seeds fighting for their lives.
I am envisioning a world where Connor Happer says all of this and then gets asked once Omaha.
So I was just going to say this.
And then he's going to be involved with the whole process.
So it's kind of like me accepting Giannis.
Naturally, what happens is
Connor will eventually
Connor's Giannis?
Yes, this is Connor's Giannis.
This, of course, will happen. I am admitting this up front. I will fully, it's like how college football just has a vice grip on all of us. They can do all these different things that I hate, but am I watching the games in the fall? Yeah, I'm not going anywhere. They know that. They're taking advantage of me. And so they're taking advantage of me here. I will watch the games. I will say, yes, go Omaha. Look at Omaha. How about it's the perfect place for I'll probably say that.
You could be the the guy out there talking, doing what you do at Creighton games for the event.
I probably will be.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You'll work the event.
I probably will.
We both know this. It's if Omaha is the one that's chosen, I'd still rather it's in Wichita.
Talk to me then.
Okay. I will.
Right now, about.
You're out.
Good luck with that, Dan.
All right. Rob writes in Omaha, big Oma snob guy. Connor Happer, big Oma. Yeah, I guess I'm an Oma snob. Text from the 402. This is not an opinion. I guess it could sort of double as one if you interpret it this way. Just tuning in. More Schaefer, way less Happer, please. I guess that is an opinion. But you're supposed to say, I have an opinion, texter.
I
didn't follow the rules.
I feel like this person missed out the last 4 days.
You have had a lot of Mike Schaefer. Yeah. Mike Schaefer has been very on the radio.
Very on the radio.
Incredibly on the radio.
A lot of radio.
Text from Christopher. I have an opinion. This has been the most boring College World Series that I can remember with all the blowouts. The plus is that I get more actual 16-20 while at work. Love the show. I guess I don't know what he means by that. Like us messing around in the booth, and that's words. I'm not sure, but it's admittedly it has been a little bit of it's lacked some great games
and intrigue.
It's lacked great games, that's for sure. Here's Bad Takes Doug. I have an opinion on the Equitable Bank inbox. I have an opinion. Unrefrigerated milk products like nacho cheese sauce and pudding cups scare me, but not enough to not eat them because they are so delicious. What the hell?
I mean, I do like pudding. I'm not going to lie. Like the pudding cups.
Would you eat a non-refrigerated?
I mean, I have 8 non-refrigerated, but I put
I guess you don't.
I buy them from the store and then I put them in my fridge.
You do? Okay.
Yeah.
What if you didn't? Would you still eat them? The pudding cups? I don't eat pudding cups.
I mean, I don't have them all the time, but if I think to buy them, it's a nice thing to have.
When you got the lunch pack, did you ever get the lunch pack as a kid? Did mom send you to school with the packed lunch?
Yeah.
Did you have pudding cups?
Occasionally, not often, because it would result in needing to have a disposable spoon or something like that.
That's a good reason to not have the pudding cups.
Sure, if I would have went up to just get a spoon from the
They would have given you a
Yeah.
spoon.
What are they going to tell me? No, you can't have a spoon.
Yeah, no. Or you would have just found a way to eat the pudding anyway. But I'm just not a pudding guy. It kind of grosses me out.
I can understand that. No, I like it. But so what he's also describing is like, all right, Velveeta sits on the shelf at a store. It sits on a shelf in your pantry, and then you make it, and then you have it,
Yeah.
Once you open it, you put it in the fridge. So, and Velveeta is amazing.
We got one from earlier. So I think I generally agree with him, but I just the part where I would disagree is that I don't believe that pudding is so overwhelmingly good that I would eat it in any condition. It has to be a specific. I don't even know that I would eat pudding anyway.
So stovetop pudding, I've never been a big fan because I don't want hot pudding. I guess is basically what I've come down.
You do not want hot pudding.
I prefer cold pudding.
Hot pudding sounds like a band name or something else, but definitely not a thing that you should consume.
Band?
Sounds like it.
It does.
Hot pudding.
Hey, playing at the mat.
Hot pudding. Mm-hmm.
Live at the mat. Hot pudding.
Somebody commented in earlier that they had an opinion. So along these same lines from Bad Takes Doug, somebody, I wish I could find this right now. They commented in that I believe that they were, here it is.
It's a ketchup one.
I have an opinion. Ketchup doesn't belong in the fridge. It can be stored at room temperature, and it's actually more flavorful at room temperature compared to cold. I don't know if that latter part is true at all.
I have to do a taste test.
I'm storing it in the fridge, and I'm skeptical of any time I have ketchup that isn't refrigerated. Like I don't want ketchup packets generally. If it's my last resort, when you go to places, whatever, like that's just what it's going to be.
Well, the difference here is like when you get it off the shelf at the store, it has not been the seal has not been broken yet. It
has to be refrigerated on it. Some people store their ketchup in the pantry.
Even after it's open?
Yeah.
That feels a little odd to me.
Well, I think like some restaurants just keep the ketchup sitting on the table all the time.
That's what they do.
You're right.
Yeah, that's what they do.
And like,
I never really thought about ketchup.
I would never go into my pantry and then take a bottle of already open ketchup and then pour it out to eat French fries or whatever it is. Like I want it cold. I like the cold with the hot of the food. Like I kind of like that juxtaposition.
I do too.
But I'm also someone who puts syrup in my refrigerator, and people get mad about that.
Oh, I put syrup in my refrigerator.
Yeah. And some people want it room temperature. They say the cold makes it worse. I don't agree.
Yeah, I'm with you, Schaefer, actually, on this. I don't have very many opinions on ketchup because I just don't.
You're not a ketchup guy.
I don't really use it.
Right.
But I don't know. There's something about the cold and the warm. I think that does make a little bit of sense to me.
Severe has opinions on this, and
about the ketchup,
and he is mad about my thoughts on spicy chicken, and now this.
What did you do on
pickles.
spicy chicken?
I said that if I get like the chicken sandwich, I don't order the spicy chicken sandwich. I get the regular. I can eat the spicy. I just end up preferring the regular.
Well, this was,
and I don't eat pickles.
Yeah, this was related to the pickles topic.
Pickle thing.
The pickle thing.
It's always about.
You did a pickle.
When you weren't here, Joey did a headline specifically about pickles.
Yeah, the pumpkin spice of summer.
You got to know your audience.
For my TikTok rant.
Here is Dave on YouTube. I have an opinion. The columnist from Alabama trashing Omaha and then writing a love letter column was the most predictable College World Series outcome ever. Did you see this? Did you hear about this?
No.
So the dude got off the plane from Alabama, right? Got out the plane, took a picture in the concourse of the airport.
Oh, he did what you were predicting people would do.
I 100% predicted this.
Yeah.
He took a picture of the airport and he goes, yeah, welcome to, something sarcastic, like, look at all the splendors of Omaha. And it looks like a picture that was literally straight out of 1992. Because admittedly, the unconstructioned parts of our airport do look like they're not from the 1990s.
Yeah.
Now, I would imagine that is the case in many cities Omaha's size, or even certainly smaller, like the cities that he's probably around a little bit in Alabama. And so he gets absolutely killed on this. I think Mitch led the charge. He got the army, the pitchforks, and like they killed this guy. And then yesterday, after Alabama gets eliminated, he comes out with the column and he's like, here's my love letter to Omaha. Make that trip. Do that. buy that ticket.
That's pretty impressive
it's
given
worth
that
it.
Alabama
It was like
went 0-2.
Yeah, it was like a 4-day turnaround. It was hilarious. Great job by him.
You really should not judge Omaha based on its airport, at least not for several years.
I told people this. Please excuse our exposed wires. I thought it would be for the exposed wires, not for the untouched parts of the
thing
airplane.
I don't understand about this is that sports writers all talk with each other all the time. Like this guy had to have known coming in that Omaha is well received by his SEC brethren who are here all the time. I know Alabama hasn't been, but it's like it just strikes me as he wanted to make the initial take really just to do it and then realize how dumb it was.
So I believe his defense was that it was a reference. His original tweet about the airport was a reference to the Freddie guy, who we talked about last week with the German soccer guy.
Yeah.
So he was
World Cup thing.
He was trying to do it. He was trying to do that kind of bit.
And it
didn't land.
Josh Odson's wife was telling us this yesterday after our show ended that there's been a bunch of memes going around of Europeans packing ranch in their suitcases and then realizing like they have to check it. But the funny thing is like they're just bringing ranch back in mass from the United States to Europe.
I've heard this before.
And I was like,
Europeans.
I've never really thought about ranch as this American delicacy.
I have heard that like I've seen things on this before of other people Europeans making pilgrimages to the United States, and they're like, guys, because they're actually I remember this whole series of TikToks several years ago, and it was like this girl, she's from overseas, or I don't know where she was from, but it wasn't, it was Europe or something like that, and she's like, taste test American things, and she was like, this is it, this is the Mecca, Hidden Valley Ranch. And I'm like, whoa. So we do take our ranch for granted, maybe.
We must.
I'm not a huge ranch guy, so maybe I do. I really do.
Yeah, I like it. It's not like I can live without it if I have
to. Let's see. Oh, Chris writes in on the syrup. He says the Hungry Jack bottles used to be microwavable. Don't know if they still are, but that can't be healthy. I remember. Do you remember the microwavable bottles of syrup?
No.
There would be a little label on there, and it would like light up when the bottle was hot. It was great.
I love the idea of putting the plastic bottle in my microwave.
No, it's a terrible idea.
Yeah.
But apparently they were microwavable bottles. And then you put it in the microwave and it would say, I'm ready, whenever it had been microwaved enough.
This is a weird thing, but now that we're talking about syrup, isn't it odd that syrup, more than any other thing, has like the most diversity in bottle shape? Like a ketchup bottle is a ketchup bottle, a ranch bottle is largely a ranch bottle, but like syrup, you have the short, fat ones at like the Hungry Jack, like that's that.
Yes.
You have glass bottles of maple syrup. You have the really tall, like doesn't fit inside some of the side of the refrigerator of like
that's what I'm rocking
Aunt
with
Jemima
right now.
or whatever Pearl Company or whatever the ones are.
Yeah,
there's more diversity with syrup bottles than there are of any of the other types of things.
I did
any of the other types
working breakfast.
Any of the other types of bottles,
like condiments and things of that nature.
Yeah, because I was gonna say like whiskey. Like they have some crazy bottles.
Well, it's more like that, where alcohol, famously different bottles.
Maybe somebody should start a syrup bottle collection and just see how far it gets them.
I'm now imagining the college house where they would you put your empty bottles up top, but it's empty syrup.
Right up here on the shelf. It's not bottles of Bartons or whatever.
We could start a collection here. We got a shelf right behind you guys.
This one's glass. It's maple.
I just housed that one yesterday. John writes in, I have an opinion. Europeans ordering ranch to take home is like an American stealing sauce from Pancheros. I don't get the reference. And
gee, I wonder.
We don't have Pancheros here, so you got to smuggle it back. The sauce is pretty good. All right, we'll take a quick time out. Brian Christopherson is our next guest. He'll help catch us up after this on 1620 The Zone.
I'm a symbol man. I'm a symbol man. I'm a symbol man. I'm a symbol man.
Brian Christopherson, Husker 24/7 on Happer and Schaefer, 1620 The Zone.
I just saw a video of Lincoln Salt Dogs manager James Frisbee throwing an all-time tirade at the Lincoln Salt Dogs game. I don't know how long ago this was.
Was it like Lou Piniella night over there?
I mean, he took out the base. He chucked it off to the side. He's kicking dirt. This went on for 2 minutes. It's great stuff. So BC, did you know that, just down the road, you could check out one of the greatest spectacles in sports, which is apparently the Salt Dogs manager?
I saw the video of it. I don't know. Did that happen last night or what?
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I don't know if it happened last night or it got aggregated onto my timeline this morning. So I'm not sure.
Yeah. I think if you promise fans something like that, but in different forms once every 3 games, but you didn't know for sure which game it was going to pop up. Although I guess if you got to the 3rd day, that would sell a lot of tickets though, if that were
palpable
the
buzz
day. So that could be a concept to just try to get more people to the ballpark.
Is there an element of the ejection that's added to because it's someone wearing a baseball uniform? Like, it's the only sport where the manager or the coach dresses like the rest of the team.
Yeah.
Does that add to the whole enjoyment of it for you?
Absolutely, it does. And also, my favorite dust-ups are when a guy kicks dirt on the home plate. I mean, it's just sort of a funny idea. Like, it's like, I'm going to give you more like a house cleaning item to this umpire that's going to take, 10 seconds? But I take that. So that's one of my favorite things. So, yeah. Anything like that, I'm going to sign up for. What
should folks be expecting at the Red Sea Rising on Saturday? I know everybody's curious, and I certainly am, about this big announcement that I don't know. I hope lives up to expectations for what they've been teasing here. But what should people expect? What are you expecting on Saturday night at Memorial Stadium?
They're going to get some pretty good talent in here, I think. I think right now they're hopeful or expecting 16 teams from all over the country, and I've seen squads, ranging from California to Florida to Michigan to Houston, with some good Midwest guys too, and local Nebraska players. And there's a bunch of 4-star 2028, 29 type prospects that are going to be here. So on paper, for what's anticipated at the moment, if a good chunk of those guys get into town, it's always fluid, like if in each case is that kid going to be able to make it, I think. But there's going to be some really good players. So I think they have a nice setup. I think the gates open later, and people can watch the championship game and see whatever the announcement is. And it's not for everybody, but I found it to be an enjoyable event last year when they did it. And obviously there was the Trey Taylor factor, and Ahmad Hudson was like one-handing, touchdowns in the end zone. But you're going to see some of that stuff, on Saturday, just the different guys. And so I think it's a savvy move by Nebraska that they were sort of on the forefront of that, and it's got them a foot in the door with different prospects. Like, Jalen Hill played in that event last year, and I'm not saying that's the reason why Nebraska got a commitment from him, but that stuff helps. You get him in town, you talk to him over the weekend and stuff like that. That's all useful.
Does the huddle forum that happened last year that helped bring in a bunch of talent as well, is that going on at the same time? Is this another sort of big underclassmen visit opportunity for Nebraska?
Not that I know of, Schaefer. They had it a couple months ago where, I went over there, and they had some really good talent around the spring game connected to the Huddle Futures Forum. So that was another smart thing. And another item they have that I don't know if people know as much about because it wasn't as publicized, is they did team camps this year where like Bishop Gorman brought in their whole squad. That's the powerhouse team in Las Vegas. And, they're going against like Millard South. And, there's some teams where it was actual football going on, sort of more behind closed doors probably than some of the other stuff. But that was, that's pretty useful that you had like, Bishop Gorman, which is, as some of the better prospects in the country. And it sounds like they want to come back again next year. And so I give it up to Matt Rule and his staff on this end of it. They, I think, are always trying to think outside the box. And you've heard him talk about, like, Nebraska. One of the things that made it a great program was they were at the forefront of stuff, whether it was the weight room or nutrition or, getting the Husker vision up before other teams had video boards, all that stuff, like trying to beat people to the punch. And I think they did it with the 7-on-7 thing. And now you're seeing other people try to copycat it.
BC, all right, here's my football thought that I've sort of been ruminating on. As far as the defense is concerned, how much better does it get based off of just regular old kind of osmosis and / you were playing far below your standard at the end of last year? And then how much of that will be because of any changes that they have made this offseason? A bunch of new coaches on the defensive side and new players, obviously, as well. Do we both agree first that the defense is going to take a jump back to, at least better than they were at the end of last year? But then the question, I guess, is how far do they go beyond that?
Yeah, I think they'll take a step forward, but that's it. Like, how big a step is it? And I was writing about the edge defenders the other day, and I was looking at some of the numbers. And, one of the things that stuck out was there just weren't even close to enough chaos plays, created by that group. Like, you can start with, like, okay, sacks. They had 22 of them, and that ranked 90th or 93rd or something like that. But go and look at, like, forced fumbles, just knocking the ball out, making those sort of plays that change a game. Nebraska caused 4 forced fumbles last year. And I remember one of them offhand was Vincent Schaefer's in the first game. It was a big play. It changed the game. Might have won them the game. And so that's, to me, going to be one of the biggest things is, can this be not just a defense that, can hold serve sometimes, get off the field, but can you actually be playmakers? Can you be a group that, has more interceptions than a season ago? They were down in that number too. So that's something that if you look at Rob Orich and what they did at San Diego State, obviously a different level and different competition, but they were very good at, not just getting off the field, but forcing, mayhem and turning the ball over. And so that's going to be a big thing to me. There is some experience that should help, like you look at, like, Chambliss and Dwayne McCullough, and like their number of snaps they've had in Orch's system, I think is useful. And then you get like Donovan Jones, who's now got like a full season under his belt. I think Donnie Jones is one of the better players on that defense, and I think the coaching staff does too. So I'm excited to see like what a guy like him does now, like in sort of his second full year of college football.
BC, is there a guy with Nebraska, it could be offense, defense, special teams even, that is returning that you think will claim a bigger role? Because it's kind of an interesting team where a lot of returning players, and then the ones that aren't are newcomers that are slotted in as starters. Is there a holdover or two that you think could have a much bigger impact on the upcoming season than maybe we're expecting?
I would look at, I don't know that people aren't expecting it at this point, but like this is a big year for like Jeremiah Charles. Like he was out there with the top unit at cornerback in the spring game, and I know we've talked about him in recent weeks, like Danny Odom. Like maybe Danny Odom's going to charge forward and be that guy by October. But Jeremiah Charles has been pretty active on special teams, and he's just sort of been steady in the program. And this might be that time where he makes a move. But then there's those guys Cade Petchock. I don't know if he fits to what your question is, but Cade Petchock's I think one of the more potential heavy young players on this roster, and I thought did quite well for a first season last year, where I don't know that the scheme fit him as great. I think maybe he could specialize more, in the 4-2-5 and what he's doing with Roy Manning now. But he got some things done for a guy who showed up in the summer. He didn't even have the early enrollee status to build up to that. So I think he could do some stuff. On the offensive side of the ball, there's a lot of the same guys, and then the three, new transfers on the line. But I think about Ja'Cory Barney when you say that question.
Okay.
I think he's going to have a much, I just think his stats can make a significant jump this year. Because if you look at last season, I know he had the 100-yard game against Michigan, and he had 100 some against Houston Christian, but he also had 5 games in the middle where he totaled 55 yards or something like that. It was a real dry spell. And I just think there could be a more consistency to how much he gets the ball and how much he impacts things week to week.
All right, BC, we will let you go. Always appreciate you taking the time. Have a good rest of your week.
All right, thanks, guys.
Ryan Christopherson from Husker 24/7 will be all over the coverage this weekend at the Red Sea Rising, which Schaefer's never heard of.
Yeah,
he's never heard of
the
branded.
Red Sea Rising is different than Battle at the Boneyard. Though,
Sounds
right?
like a great
The
graphic
battle
idea.
at the Boneyard is happening at Red Sea Rising.
So Red Sea Rising is just a new name for Memorial Stadium for a summer event.
Red Sea Rising event, which will include the second annual Battle of the Boneyard. The Red Sea Rising is the event because there's a second thing that isn't the Battle of the Boneyard, and it's the big announcement.
Oh, okay.
So,
That sounds like a graphic idea.
Let's just get to
Well, it'd be
Sunday.
nice to have a flow chart, right? What's inside of what.
Why do we have to name everything?
I don't know. It's for graphics. For social media.
It reminds me of when Nebraska's offense was going to be hell on a helmet with their offensive line.
Oh, yeah.
And that, really worked.
Hell on wheels.
It was hell on a helmet
Hell on
for
a
the
helmet.
offensive line for Greg Austin and that bunch with
Nice. That
how
worked out.
well they were going to move people up front in 2019.
They were moving people all right. All right. Let's take a break.
Moved them right on out.
We'll come back and get caught up on a couple of other things. We have the U.S. Open this weekend, which golf people love the U.S. Open. Why? Because everyone sucks compared to the course.
Hooray!
After this on 1620 The Zone. The U.S. Open is going on right now. They actually started. It looks pretty miserable out on Long Island.
Looks like it's clearing up though.
Yeah, I mean, this
Starting
type
to.
of thing happens, I suppose, should be expected to happen when basically this is a golf course for all intents and purposes in the middle of the ocean. It's in the middle of Long Island. It's out pretty deep on Long Island. I imagine now, I guess I know some people who have been to Shinnecock for US Open before, but this has to be an absolute hellscape to get to if you're actually attending this tournament. Given how difficult it is to get around in that part of Long Island.
Imagine if your day was attending part of this tournament and going to the Knicks parade.
Oh boy.
Now that is two different kinds of society.
Oh boy.
One day, half of the day in the Hamptons and the other half in the city celebrating with all the bing bongs. That would be quite the dichotomy.
Bing bong!
That would be quite the deal. You'd see a lot of America in that day. You would. And I imagine there's some people who are doing it. Scotty Scheffler is your favorite at the moment, according to the FanDuel, was what I'm looking at right now. Rory McIlroy plus 1,200 and John Rahm plus 1,500. Those are basically the guys in front of the field in every tournament. Do we have any tingles, Mike Schaefer? You like to bet golf tournaments?
I do. Usually the U.S. Open, I feel like you don't end up with the favorites winning it. Like JJ Spawn won last year.
Usually
Gary
just
Woodland
some guy
won a few years ago.
Yeah.
Bryson DeChambeau, the only things he's won, I believe, are the U.S. Open thus far.
Let me go down and pick a guy. Let me see if I can find a random guy that I like.
So I think you want to find someone who's playing well. Like Wyndham Clark won it a few years ago in L.A. He's playing well again. That wouldn't be, I think, a bad bet. I've heard Russell Henley is someone that the smart golf people are like, put some money on this. He's playing really well right now. That would be a name.
Can we get a Gary Woodland major? I want a Gary Woodland major.
Well, he won this event. Like in 2019, I think.
Perfect. Give it to me.
That would be an amazing.
Everybody loves Gary Woodland.
Well, I don't know how you couldn't, especially with everything coming back from cancer. So
yeah,
that would be. I mean, that'd be remarkable. Justin Rose always feels like someone you can sprinkle a little money on, but
always
maybe you want to do
top
a
five.
top 5 finish, not necessarily to win, since he's better at that than he is at winning.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, or you just throw a dart at the bottom of the board. Harris English, why not?
Harris English. That sounds like a guy who could win the U.S. Open.
It does sound like a guy who could win the U.S. Open.
Plaquette says he's got sandwiches on Cam Smith.
Okay.
Didn't you have him for the last major?
Cam Young.
I always Cam Smith is the funny looking Australian guy, right? Or British guy?
Yeah, he's the one who won the Masters and then went to live and has never been heard of.
He's got the hair
largely.
with the blonde hair. Yeah. I liked him. And then he went to live?
He went to live.
So Liv died, right?
Liv is dead.
All right. Okay. So we don't have to deal with that crap anymore.
It sort of still exists, and then there's a whole like, how are those players going to be received back on the tour? How do they get back on? Are they going to have to earn their card?
Yeah, they'll all get over it.
Well, I mean, they're going to have to like earn their way back on.
But that doesn't matter for the U.S. Open.
No, if you have an exemption, you're in. Cam Smith, having won the Masters recently, is how he can play in the U.S. Open.
I would not. Now, if I was going out to the Hamptons this week, it would be. I mean, this would be a cool event to go to. If you look at it right now on
cool being
US,
the optimal word.
It is, yeah. It looks chilly and windy and cloudy, but I would imagine the elites of the elites are out there this weekend getting after it in the Hamptons. Maybe it'll get sunny at some point. Maybe they could grab a lobster roll on the side of the road.
Your guy
sounds delicious.
Oh, is it Brooks?
He withdrew last week, so he's questioned as to if he was going to play or not. But
give me Brooks Koepka. I want to see him win a tournament again.
It's probably not going to be this one.
He went to live, right?
Yeah, famously.
I'm out.
He did the whole return where he's giving up some of like what he wins.
But Brooks never. He never made it like some sort of a high. He was always like, yeah, I mean, just really like money.
No,
No, he refused to say that it was about the money.
But isn't that kind of his vibe of just like, yeah, I don't really care what people think about me, like that type of thing. I'll just
kind of. It's definitely not been the vibe since he's tried to get back to the PGA.
Damn it.
He's definitely done some damage control on that.
Damn, I haven't heard what he said lately.
I mean,
I used to like him.
Yeah, well, you can still like him. You don't have to dislike him.
Like I haven't paid attention. There's some things that I probably
He's one of
wouldn't
two
like.
people that took the olive branch from the PGA and is now welcome back on the tour.
Okay. Aaron says a lot of them won't ever have that chance because they simply aren't good enough. Brooks Koepka played at best, got money when he was having back problems and didn't know if he could ever compete again, got better, won a major, and came back to the tour. And Aaron also says he hasn't really liked that lately, and from all accounts, he is well liked on tour too.
Yeah, I think he was well liked before he left.
Brooks is back.
And I don't again, the way that he presented it in full swing and everything else was just a mealy mouthed, like, I want to challenge myself in a new way. And then he showed everybody his trophy room, kind of like the Kirk Cousins one, except he has actual trophies.
Excuse me. That was the reason why people couldn't get along with that golf documentary, because it was just like, I don't care about these guys. I mean, they're all really rich and they're flying private planes. They don't have struggles. It's weird. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back 9:00 hour. A couple things from the College World Series and beyond as we continue on Happer and Schaefer on 1620 The Zone. All right, 9 o'clock here on Happer and Schaefer, 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com. We'll be joined by Max Olson in a few minutes. Do we have any more college football video game questions for Max? Because the countdown's on for that.
You guys asked the court case questions. Sympathetic.
We could ask
Court
him
case question of the
if
week.
Max was in charge of team ratings, what would his top 5 teams be? Perfect. So
This is the prism in which everyone was talking about it 2 years ago when the game came back. It was like, if you were building a creative team on NCAA college football, who would you start with?
Or if he was building a team with the team builder edition, what team would that be?
Creighton. And why would it be Creighton?
because they don't have a football.
Well,
team.
that's what Team Builder is for. Charles Schwab Field.
Or you actually done that?
No, but there are people have made like Creighton jerseys, and I've played around with it before. They're pretty cool.
The stadiums you could use are basically the stadiums for all the teams in the game.
No,
So
did you know that, Joey, this year there is a stadium builder?
Oh,
you could create your own stadium.
I did not know that.
Okay,
So you can make a chuck box in theory.
I played MLB The Show 1 year. It's probably about 4 or 5 years ago, and you play it online. You don't really know who you're going to play until you're in the game or whatever. And the guy had like his whole thing was Creighton playing at Schwab.
Yeah,
and it was actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
I can't remember if I won or I wasn't very good. I don't even know why I was doing it. Like I had this
you were
phase where
playing against Creighton.
Well, so
sounds about right.
But like his team obviously wouldn't have any Creighton players on.
Right,
it,
right.
Like that's what the uniform and the setup.
There was like an edit going around last year of, I think it was Dante Moore, and he was wearing a Creighton football jersey. Like they had edited his Oregon jersey to be a Creighton jersey, and it was really good. And everyone was like, I don't know who made this Dante Moore Creighton edit, but it goes hard.
Speaking of the Creighton made me think of this because Josh Hodgson really liked the Toronto Blue Jays version of it. But have you seen the 4th of July hats that they will be wearing in Major League Baseball?
I don't think so.
The Stars and Stripes one.
No.
I think you'd like it. It looks relative to how bad it can look at times. I think it mostly looks pretty good.
Okay. Let's see here. Official Stars and Stripes gear. Got it. Oh yeah, it could be worse than that. I don't really know what they're going for here, but it could be worse than that. So how do they decide which teams get red bills and blue bills?
I wondered this too.
Is that the road versus home?
I think it's got to be either American League, National League was my guess.
But it's not because
you would think red for AL, blue for NL. At least I do.
Actually, you know what? No, because Boston has red.
Well, Boston would be red. They're in the American League.
Well, there's plenty of NL teams.
But the Phillies have red.
Phillies are red. St. Louis is red. Pittsburgh is red. San Francisco is red.
Kind of thing.
Toronto is hilarious because they don't have stars and stripes, but they gave them they just gave them a red, the
maple leaf red.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's kind of interesting. The Royals one is nice. Could have been worse.
Yeah,
definitely. I've seen worse. They have done worse.
They have definitely done worse.
There's no doubt about that. Let's see. Text from the 308. Will 2026 college football get discounted when 2027 comes out? Probably, Tony, but
Is it already discounted?
Yeah, all the games are digital now, so it's not like there's like a supply and demand thing anymore.
No, but they just discount it anyways because nobody's going to buy that game for $40. So if someone buys it for $12, that's $12.
They ain't discounted it to 12. I'll tell you that.
What is it down to? Dude?
Oh,
I'm going to look it up.
The pure guess. The least amount of money that they would sell that game for, less than a year now from its original release, $40. They wouldn't sell it for any less than $40.
I bet it's in. I think it's got to be less than that. Okay, so you can get it for $15 at Walmart at the moment. 29 Target, 29 Best Buy. I want to see what it is on the store though.
Yeah, give me like the Microsoft store.
You got the deluxe edition. They still want $100 for it.
Amazing.
This got hammered in the ratings last year.
Yeah, it wasn't that much better than the year before. This year is supposed to be a little bit different. All right. Anyway, that'll be a talking point over the next several weeks. I want to go back to something that Skylar Meade, the Troy coach, said this week after his team departed from Omaha after getting smashed by West Virginia in that 1-1 game. Here is what Skylar Meade said. He said, quote, on the College World Series, it's the best college sporting event, bar none. No offense to others. The Rose Bowl is awesome. It ain't this. But now everyone knows why you work so hard, why you talk about it, why you recruit so much, why you never take breaks. They know. So Skylar Meade had just had banger after banger of quotes this week. Left with that. The Rose Bowl is awesome. It ain't this. Needs to be put on a poster right now, enlarged in downtown Omaha or placed on the stadium somewhere. That is so good. Absolute banger.
Just pool our money together. We'll get a billboard for it.
I mean, what a quote.
Yeah, it's a great quote.
What a quote. He said that. I'm like, because usually the coaches are really good for something on the departing message. You know, they're a reminder of the season and the journey and all these different things. And they're really good at like kind of putting it in perspective. But it was the perfect setup for Skylar Meade because he's really, you know, his personality is fantastic. And he was the coach of the quote unquote underdog team. And so the perspective was right there at the end of it, at the end of the run for Troy. And he was like, nope, this is it. I've seen a lot of different things in my day. This is the one. And I find it, I never find it old. It never gets old to me that people come here for the first time every year and they say, oh yeah, it lives up to the hype every time. I don't know that I've heard anybody say it doesn't live up to the hype. It's really weird. Now it's so hard for me to put myself in those shoes because I've seen it 30 times in my life now, you know, like, and it's great. I love it, but I wonder what the thing is about it that captivates people so much.
Do you think I'm thinking about this, like, you're here, you're guaranteed at least 2 games, which sets it apart from every other context in college sports.
Yep.
So, like, right there is a big difference. It's baseball, so the mentality of it is different than if you're going into a college football playoff game where, like, yeah, you're going to the Rose Bowl, but you're playing, like, it's just, there's a lightness to a baseball that doesn't exist in a football game or even basketball.
That's
like,
true.
You know, when I'm there in Houston and I'm sitting there and Sam Hoiberg and Bryce Sanford and Rink Master sitting up there talking at media day, like, they're pleasant, they're agreeable, they're able to answer the questions, like, none of it, but there's just a different vibe to it when I've been involved with the College World Series things. And again, baseball's just different. The mentality of it is just different. Like, it's not to say that these guys, it's absolutely locked between the ears, you know, when the game is on and they want to win and all of that. There's just a different feel for it. I've not been to a Final Four. I can't imagine it's as light as what it feels like when you're at the College World Series.
No doubt.
And you know, the weather, the atmosphere of it. I think teams are taken really good care of at this event.
They are.
You know, what they need, their needs, their desires, their wants, like how they can get from everything. Their families are taken care of here.
Yeah.
Pretty well. There's just and it's not to say that it isn't, you know, the teams aren't locked in and that it doesn't matter on the same level, but there's just like almost less of a business nature for some of it than certainly football, and then basketball, I think, is the in-between.
Do you think there's something to having it at the same
100%
building?
I think that's
in the
best,
same city.
Like, I think one of the best parts about this is that it's every year in Omaha. And so, like, what I'm talking about when I say all these SEC media writers are talking to each other, and that's why it was dumb for that guy to put that out anyways. They've all been here. You talk about getting to Omaha. You say you're going to the Final Four or being in the college football playoff, but you're going to Omaha.
Yeah.
Like, the event and the city are inseparable, which is kind of funny because most of the city doesn't touch the CW. Like, the people that are down here only live in that area around it. Very rarely are they in the rest of Omaha, but they fall in love with that portion of Omaha.
Yeah.
With these 10 days or whatever they are.
There's got to be, there's definitely something in there. And
then they get to be here longer.
I think that's
part of it.
The clockwork of it, right? You feel like if you are an out-of-towner or if you're coming in for the first time, you feel like you're joining a club, you know? Because I talked about this before we left, before I departed you on Friday, or Thursday last week, and it was you come in and you see the same people in the elevators, and maybe you only see these people once a year or whatever it is. And I was trying to put myself in the shoes of a newcomer or a first timer, and I thought, what would I think if I saw all this happening? Like, there's only one choice. It's to embrace it, and it's to try and like be a part of it. And then it's to try and make your way back as much as you possibly can to be a part of it every year and to be in the club.
I also think he used a great example with the Rose Bowl because there's a certain imagery associated with that you're just not going to get at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, that you're not going to get at the Toyota Center in Houston or Lucas Oil.
Yeah.
Because those are like places. But when you come to the College World Series, you're getting the stadium, which is its own character in all of this. You're getting the village and the surrounding area. You don't have that at these other things.
No.
You have it
except
in
for the
Pasadena.
Rose Bowl. Yeah,
You have it there because it's the whole thing. Kind of like how Omaha treats the College World
it's the parade,
Series.
the Rose.
Pasadena treats the Rose Bowl and the events and everything surrounding like it matters to that community.
Somebody said, Max said on YouTube, Indy 500. You know,
Yeah, that's probably a good
synonymous with
one.
Indianapolis.
Again, it's there. It's always there.
I think there's a lesson in there for not that anyone will ever follow this, whether it's for Super Bowls. I always thought the Super Bowl
it also works because Omaha has built that park geared towards it, has built the landscape around it. Like I think to me, the Omaha Baseball Village is inseparable from the entire experience.
I thought the Super Bowl was cooler when it was at the Superdome every year. Like or like more often than not, it seemed to be at the Superdome.
Which is funny to me because the guy sitting in this chair yesterday would basically be like, nobody in New Orleans wants the Super Bowl.
I hated
ever
the
again.
Super Bowl.
People don't want it,
yeah,
because they don't get it, and the NFL doesn't give them it.
But there was like a flavor and a sort of smell of it. You know, it just had an air about it, and I do think that is part of what's so captivating about first timers.
It's also why the Sugar Bowl stands out more than other bowls.
And keep in mind, Skylar Meade, back for the first time as the Troy coach and at the new stadium, played in 2007 for Louisville at Rosenblatt. And so he's been here a couple times and seen it from different angles. And that was his takeaway at the new park. Let's take a quick call before we get to Max here. Here's Doug on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. Hey, Doug.
Hey, guys. I was at the World Cup game Tuesday night to see Messi score. And I'll tell you, Kansas City does not know how to host an event. It was horrible. We rode a bus. We were supposed to get on a bus for an hour and a half, which was ridiculous. And then after the game, it took us an hour and a half to get an Uber to get out of there. And parking tickets were like going for $500 a piece. You couldn't drive in. Kansas City blew it. It was horrible, but the game was great.
Thanks for the call, Doug. I would imagine that a lot of that is just FIFA, who sucks.
FIFA, but also volume. Like you're talking about, a larger.
That's a tough judge. I just don't I don't know how much Kansas City is responsible for that. I mean, now it sucks for them because their stadium's out in the middle of nowhere, and it is admittedly very difficult to get there. But Chiefs games is
some
of
the charm of it is being there early to experience it in the tailgate lot.
And they don't do
absolutely cannot do with this event.
I would imagine that a lot of this it would have been a better event if it was a more American event, if you did more things like that. But FIFA was just never going to let that happen.
No, I think you're onto something.
They renamed the stadium.
You're definitely onto something with that. It's in Omaha every year.
Yeah.
And then I think the nature of baseball and the fact that you have all this image associated with it. The Blatt exists the way that it does because that stadium's right there.
Yep.
Other elements of it exist how it is because the stadium is there, and you see the bars and stuff that are starting to fill that area. It's crazy how different it looks now than if you go back to 2013, 2014.
Yeah.
What's that direction west of the stadium looks like, and closer to the Creighton campus and everything.
It is not on the level really in any way of the Masters, but that's the kind of thing that we're talking about. It's an event where you set your calendar to it. It's this day every year. The people are the same. You go to the same places. You do the same things. There has to be a lesson in there for sports about and event organizers and people who make decisions on where stuff is.
Well, I think it matters that people want it here.
Yeah.
And that the people that are involved with it do a great job of hosting. Like that absolutely is a big part.
One more quick call here from Sam on the Prairie Fire Casino Zone hotline. Hey, Sam, what's up?
Hey guys, just giving you a call to touch base on why Omaha's so special. I got family that lives in Baton Rouge. They come every year, and they have friends that come from the Carolinas and stuff like that also come every year. And what they always tell me is that they just feel like at home in Omaha. Like it's very welcoming and comfortable, and the city does a great job of, captivating this experience. And a lot of these people, they like even the old market part. Like they'll venture down that way quite a bit. And I guess they're just more of a reason why Omaha should always have the College World Series, and people just love it here. I had more to say, and then I get a brain fart when I get on the phone. So
that's all right.
But also one more thing they always talk about is we underestimate the food that we have here. People always talk about how good like our restaurants are.
Okay.
And I did not know that Omaha was known for like amazing food, and they're like, no, it's great food. It's so that's my 2 cents. I had way more to say, but then I
think it worked out great.
That's all right, Sam. You did well.
So,
appreciate you calling.
Now, I did call in one time and suggest the mozzarella sticks for Arby's if that does rebound me in any sort of way.
Oh, yeah. That was great. Great call by you. Thanks, Sam.
All right, guys.
Yeah. I mean, so once you come back enough, I've heard this from more and more people over the years. Once you come back enough, and then all of a sudden you start seeing more and more of the town and more of the places. And then like you're in the club. It's like a little hidden secret. I don't know. There's just something that's sort of, it's not big enough to where it's overdone. It's sort of a secret, but it's not at the same time. Like we want people to know about it, and other people are telling other people about it. I don't know. There's just something that's unique and different about it.
Great vibe. The vibe around the stadium, the energy around all of the event is always really good.
And we'll cap it off this weekend. Of course, you could hear all the games on 1620 The Zone with our guys, Kevin, Scott, John, down on the field for the finals. Game 1 starts at 7 or just after 7 o'clock on Saturday night. We will take a quick timeout. Max Olson will join us on the other side on 1620 The Zone. All right, welcome back. We're of Happer and Schaefer here on 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com. Joined now on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline by our good friend Max Olson from ESPN. Good morning, Max. What's up?
Good morning, fellas. Good to be with you.
Did you make your way down to any College World Series games this year? Like you said last week that ESPN was pretty well covered. Did you make it down for fun at all?
You know, if it weren't for a certain district judge in the state of Texas, I think I probably would have been able to enjoy more CWS.
Hey, I was trying to avoid.
But I'm looking forward to the finals.
I was trying to avoid the court question of the week, but I guess.
I got to see some friends who were visiting from Austin on Tuesday, and took them around downtown a little bit before their night game, and it's great time as always. He's got a 10-year-old kid, so of course, you know that it's a big old spending spree when you hit the tents there and all the gear they're selling. So yeah, good time.
Max, we collectively decided we will ask you a video game question every week leading up to the release. So it's pretty much only a couple more weeks.
Perfect.
What? You probably know who the top 5 teams in the game actually are. What would have been Max Olson's top 5 teams for college football 2027?
Top, just highest rated teams.
Your 5 highest rated teams.
I think it'll be Texas, Ohio State, Oregon. Ooh. Maybe they might give Indiana that type of respect.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that's not possible. Miami's probably close. Don't know that Alabama will be. Who am I missing?
You're missing Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame.
Oh, Notre Dame for sure will be in the top 5. Yeah, I would think so. Yeah.
It's interesting that only one of those teams is in the SEC.
Yeah, no Georgia. Georgia didn't get mentioned.
Georgia's probably close. Alabama's probably a step down. We'll see how, and maybe LSU is just really video game stupid loaded. You know.
How do they actually handle roster updates as the season played out last year? Because I feel like I played all of the game. I played all of it by the end of August, and then I don't think I touched it again until recently.
They put out probably, I think they put out 4, 5, 6 different roster updates over the course of the season. I think, especially last year, they kind of had to because there were some Trinidad Chambliss wasn't in the game until mid-season, and there's some of those guys that you just kind of miss on.
Sure.
I don't think TJ Lateef ever got added into the game, which
That's
is
right.
a little odd. I think the expectation is this year they're going to be updating the rosters every week, so I think that's going to be pretty cool.
Oh yeah, that is going to be sweet. I don't know. I think so. Just one more football video game question. Your takeaway from seeing the things that you've seen so far is that this will be a better experience this year. There's just more stuff to it as they've built it back now over 3 different iterations of the game.
Yeah, it's kind of like that thing where it's every time they put out a new iPhone, you're like, well, what's different from the old iPhone? It's not that much. We've kind of pretty much got it figured out here. Just little stuff to say we got new stuff. So there's the mascot mode this year. They added, I think adding NIL to the dynasty mode, I think is pretty cool. I like how they've done it. And it puts you in more of a position of running an actual college football program / athletic department as opposed to just kind of playing games with the team. So I think that stuff's nice, but gameplay is generally little tweaks in here and there, but the gameplay is pretty much the same because it's a pretty good game. Don't have to tinker with it too much.
What's still missing for you out of it?
I think that we had that decade of no games, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think adding classic teams would be phenomenal.
Oh.
And they used to have that.
That is
back in the
answer.
old systems. They used to have that stuff, right? They'd have the all-time team, or they'd have certain years, and I know you get into now it's an issue of NIL and likeness rights and all that kind of stuff. But man, I think it'd be that's the thing I imagine people would go crazy about is if you could get 09 Nebraska in there, get 19 LSU, get all these teams that that you could kind of unlock and play with that would be that'd be pretty incredible.
You have a list on ESPN right now, the best running backs in college football. How easy was it to decide on number one? I feel like that we have a consensus as the top back in the country is Kewan Lacey from Ole Miss, the former Nebraska commit, by the way.
That's right. I think that like wide receiver was very easy. Jeremiah Smith's number one. Nobody's really like going hot take. I think somebody's better than Jeremiah Smith. Running back's a little bit trickier because you've got really like three guys that I would say are all like really viewed as elite by personnel folks and, beloved. And the funny thing is, especially with the running back group this year, it's like everybody was tampering with these guys, like all of these guys, even the top guys in the country. So like, this year's group, it's like some of these guys are making like $2 million this year, which is like you would think unthinkable a couple of years ago for a running back. Like I remember when Quinshon Judkins went in the portal, you'd be like, well, no one's going to pay him $1 million. It's like, yeah. Now the top guys are worth $1 million and maybe a lot more. Kewan Lacey was the guy at number one. I think it's really unfortunate the situation with Ahmad Hardy and the gunshot and like unclear like at what point he'll be back this season if he even plays this season. I wonder if personnel people would have like treated that as more of like a head-to-head debate on Kewan Lacey and Ahmad Hardy. And Hardy was more productive last year, but both like just phenomenal in their first year in their new programs. And I think Lacey and probably the playoff run probably cemented that for him. But the one that I don't know that he's like even really a household name yet, but Jaden Baugh from Florida was the guy who finished number 2 in voting, and that's a guy that everybody was trying to tamper with and hoping to get away from Florida. And he's not the fastest back in the country, but he's a really complete player and really a superstar for the Gators.
Next, is there something about that position? And you were just talking about how we could see a world, or we feasibly could have seen a world where this crop of running backs was, spread out to a variety of different schools than what they're at currently. Is there something about the position that makes it more transportable from school to school? Like, you could, if you grabbed, one of the top running backs out of the portal right now, you could expect almost a exact same level. Like you're getting that back wherever that guy has ended up. I don't know that you could say the same for a whole lot of other positions. This one, it maybe feels a little portal proof, but that's just grasping at straws a bit.
You got to trademark that.
No, I think there's something to that. And I think that like you look at, some of like the biggest hits of the portal era, like I think of Kenneth Walker at Michigan State. It's like, man, if you get a guy that can be an every down back, like it can completely change your offense. And like, that's worth a lot, as much as a quarterback and a tackle is, and maybe a number one receiver or like the premium positions. Like I do think people are coming around to like, yeah, these, like Kewan Lacey was worth a lot of money. Isaac Brown from Louisville, the guy who announced he was going to go in the portal and, could have gone to Texas or Miami or Notre Dame or one of these schools. And, Louisville had to pay him a ton of money to stay. And I think there's a lot of value to retention there. But yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting to see with Texas, because Texas went out and said, we've got Trey Wisner and CJ Baxter, who are two really talented and productive backs, and we think we can do better than them. And they and put them both in the portal. And Wisner went to Florida State. Baxter went to Kentucky. He's had some injury issues, so that's kind of part of that. But they felt like they could upgrade, and they brought in Hollywood Smothers from NC State and Raleek Brown from Arizona State. And they think that that's going to really boost their offense. So I'm with you. I'm interested to see, is it as simple as just plug and play? Like you put them in the right situation and you kind of, automatically get 1,000-yard season. I think Texas is making a little bit of a gamble there.
Max, was Mark Fletcher Jr. sort of a difficult study in this whole thing? Because he put up 500 yards in the 4 college football playoff games, but he only ran for less than 1,200 yards total, which means through the regular season, he really only had amassed like 690, 700 yards. And so he's right, like what happened in the regular season or what happened in the college football playoff? And then are you going to get that guy for a whole year? Or was that just you're playing playoff football, so Miami's utilization of him is different than what it would be in the regular season?
Yeah, and look, I think going into the year too, that was the part of the thought process for Miami, is like that's why they took Marty Brown, is because they weren't totally sure that they could like count on a healthy Mark Fletcher for a full season, because he'd had some injuries and stuff in the past. And so I think Mark Fletcher came in number 4 in those rankings for us, and I think there's probably some people who'd probably rank him below Isaac Brown and a few of these guys on the list. And I think the playoff run certainly blew everyone away, just in terms of how he was able to just really overpower opponents in some big games there, and they could just kind of feed him the rock. And some people look at that and say, look, Miami's offensive line was incredible, and if you put Jaden Bobb behind Miami's offensive line, like he'd be the best player in the country and stuff, right? So and then also for Mark Fletcher, like kind of interesting that you have a run like that and you don't go pro, right? I mean, I think and maybe he was kind of locked in no matter what's coming back, but I don't know that the NFL feedback was like, you're going to be a first round guy if you go out now, despite this playoff run. So yeah, interested to see, can he, do it again over a 15 game span or whatever, like it was last year. But really talented back. Kind of some personnel people described him as almost more of like a doubles hitter than a home run hitter, but really reliable. He can get you the 10-yard gain, get you the first down, and certainly that offense is reloaded around him quite a bit, and they have some really talented young backs around him. So I don't know how much he has to be the workhorse this season.
Will the next couple weeks before these media days start and the next part of the college football offseason calendar starts up, will this be the quietest that you will see Texas Tech? I don't know that they'll be doing much talking over the next several weeks before we start the season.
Yeah, I mean, as long as they're not like quitting the Big 12, yeah, I mean, I would hope so. Yeah, that would be nice. I remember going to Big 12 media days in 2021, and the talk of the time at that time was like talking to all these players about NIL and just that arriving on August 1st and all that kind of stuff. And of course, we were not even talking about realignment, and then weeks later, Texas and Oklahoma bail, right? So it's like there's always something around the corner. We never get too comfortable in this job, but yeah, I think Texas Tech is probably probably taking a few plays off here, and I'd be interested to see kind of. I know Cody Campbell's already kind of come out and tried to spin things a certain way, but I'd be interested to see kind of what their sort of defense is after all of that. I think ultimately they just look at it and say, hey man, we were just trying to protect and defend our player, and we would do that for anybody, and ultimately we're okay with the resolution to all this. It certainly seems like in terms of what Swordsby's folks filed yesterday, that Texas Tech was the one who said, you're not going to be able to play for us this season. And whether that's true or not, it does seem like ultimately they came to the conclusion that was not a war they could win.
All right, Max, we'll let you go. Always appreciate the time. Thanks for dropping by, and have a good rest of your week.
Hey, enjoy the ballpark. Sounds nice.
Oh, we will. The ballpark is
I saw your food spread over there, man. You're living good.
Yeah, we're kind of done now. I'll go down there and maybe hang out this weekend, but my job as far as the College World Series is concerned is pretty much done.
Your watch is over.
My watch is the free food coming to me, I guess, is basically ended.
Do you think you'll go back to the Ferris wheel, or you think you're good?
I think I will not go back to the Ferris wheel. Will not go back to the Ferris wheel.
Sounds good.
Thanks, Max.
Thanks, good.
Oh, you never got the chance to grill me on the Ferris wheel. Maybe we could do that in our final segment today.
Might as well.
I want to mention something I saw in Max's article, because naturally, no Nebraska running back was going to be appearing in that with Hunter Johnson moving on.
No.
However, we did get an NFL draft moment. The Huskers make an appearance in the article because Justice Haynes ran for the highest speed recorded by any running back in all of 2025 on his 75-yard score against Nebraska, where he topped out at 22.5 miles per hour. So
he transferred to Georgia Tech?
Yeah. So remember, he got hurt. And I don't know what happened there exactly, but he was out, and there was like people here hoping like, oh, well, maybe Nebraska needs a running back. Maybe they can get Justice Haynes.
Hey, just because Nebraska needs a running back doesn't mean they're going to try and get a running back. I think we have a lot of experience. And
he said something that Tim kind of, you go back to January, parroted a little bit, like Nebraska went into the portal cycle thinking they were going to go after running back, and then saw the sticker prices of what it was going to take to get who was even available, and basically said, we're good.
Sorry.
Yeah.
You're going to need one of those.
Well, they have one.
Oh, do they?
They have several.
They have many.
Are they ever going to be on this list? Probably not.
I'm afraid not. No. All right, quick break. Back after this on 1620 The Zone. Tons of things for you to win online right now at 1620thezone.com, including tickets to Post Malone. And by the way, that's a whole sweepstakes where you get a pair of tickets, $200 to use for travel, food, lodging, and merch. That is at Jack Trice Stadium in Ames, coming up in about a month. There's the Black Keys, there's Young Giant, there's Chris Stapleton, there's Motionless in White, there's Burt Kreischer. All of it you could win online at 1620thezone.com. Yesterday at the Men's College World Series, it got too windy and they stopped the Ferris wheel, which I got jealous that they just didn't stop it before. I'm on my way out to the Ferris wheel. Here I come. It's like, sorry, we got to shut it down due to wind. That did not happen. I actually went on there. I actually did it this year. I didn't fake it. I really did it.
You said you sat next to Josh Hodson?
Josh Hodson and a young lady from the NCAA running their social media stuff. And Chris, so we're standing there with Prudon, and I went up to him and I was like, Chris, this game sucks. I think it's time for Ferris wheel. And Chris is apparently more scared of heights than I am. He's
wow.
I'm not doing it. And then he just sees anyone walking down the hallway and he's like, do you want to go on the Ferris wheel? And sure enough, somebody said yes, and it was her. And so it was the three of us that went on the Ferris wheel, and I gave a live report and was definitely not scared and definitely not holding on to the pole in the middle of the cart the entire time.
You didn't sound as scared as I assumed you were.
I haven't heard it back yet. I don't want to hear it.
It was fine.
Maybe I do want to hear it.
When did it happen?
It was the 14-2 situation.
Yeah, but when during the game was that interview?
Maybe the fourth. There was a home run that happened at the time.
Yep.
Was it what game was it? It was
Alabama, Texas.
Well, wasn't
Alabama, Texas.
Wasn't it Aiden Rodriguez's home run that he hits for the cycle in that game, but it was his home run in the 6th inning? So I want to say it's right around the 6th inning.
No, it wasn't that late.
Wasn't that late?
It wasn't that late. Because I remember that game was dragging already in the second, and I was like, all right, let's go.
Wow.
So it was, my guess would be the 3rd or the 4th. There was a home run at the time. I don't know who hit it. There was a home run. Whatever.
It was roughly 2:15 to 2:30 in the afternoon, because I know where I was driving.
That sounds right.
I basically was at that time.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
That sounds right. So, I went, and it went around 4 times, I think. And of course, when everybody's got to get off, it's got to stop, and it stops, and we're at the very, very top of it. I'm like,
wonderful. You get to take in
that's what I did not want.
View of
how far
lovely, beautiful Omaha.
How far out?
Yeah.
Off the cart?
Well, no, were you trying to see the you're up there. You might as well try to see as far out as you can.
Yeah, I didn't look at anything else but the ballpark and really didn't move a muscle at all.
Did Josh enjoy it?
Yes.
Okay.
I think he maybe enjoyed me
I would have loved to have been there.
Yeah.
It would have been hard for me to be quiet.
I felt bad for the other two. I felt bad for Josh and the lady because I was probably making them uncomfortable with how scared I was. I didn't want to ruin the Ferris wheel experience for them, but I think I did.
Yeah, they got over it.
She got her content. Josh got his content of me, and I got to say that I went on the Ferris wheel.
Yeah, you did a great job.
And I didn't fake it.
You conquered your fears.
It's too bad that you did not do this. Conquered. It's too bad you did not do this on Sunday, because if that were to happen, you would have been my man of the weekend.
Sunday.
It happened on a Monday.
Why would
it happen on a Tuesday?
Oh, it happened on a Tuesday.
No, it was. You're right. It was
why would it have been cooler if we did it on?
Because I would give you a shout out for man of the weekend.
Mm-hmm. Well, you can still give it to me next week if you want.
Yeah, no, I'll save it for Friday shout outs.
Thank you. I can't wait to get a Friday shout out from Joey tomorrow.
If I remember.
I'm blanking on the name. Somebody came up and gave us an appreciation for doing the Friday shout out. He and his wife had their big anniversary.
Oh, nice.
A couple weeks ago.
Nice.
They stopped by over at the Omaha Baseball Village, Zone booth.
Let's do it. We'll all give each other Friday shout outs tomorrow. Friday shout out to Schaefer. Friday shout out to Joey. We'll all Friday shout out each other. You can get in your Friday shout outs whenever you'd like at Happer Schaefer on the Liquid Trucking Zone Twitter feed. Okay. That is going to do it for us today. If you missed anything, 1620thezone.com is where you can find it. Crossover with Matt is coming up next.